Chapter 2638. After not having to go on a diet, Ning Shu's body and mind were at ease. He ate whatever was good. Perhaps it was because his stomach had shrunk from starvation, but even though his appetite was good now, he was quickly full. He stopped after tasting the food. He was allowed to taste it without any psychological burden. It was simply too amazing. Third brother felt that after this damn fatty stopped playing games, he had completely let himself go. He had been starving like an idiot before, but now he ate everything. He would soon become as fat as a pig. Third brother, Song plus 3 Jing plus Kong will let you play. Ning Shu directly said, I'm not playing anymore. I haven't wanted to play since a long time ago. How could it compare to eating? It wasn't easy to level up a godly account, but he actually stopped playing. Now, everyone in the game was betting on when he would go online. Third brother wanted to roll his eyes. She wanted to go online, but couldn't. Even her gaming helmet was smashed. A large group of people in the game hated her to the core, but now she couldn't even find anyone to take revenge on. Especially Tsang Mountain has a well-named Kong, who was going crazy. Come, just carry it in, Mother Tao said to the people moving things. Along with Mother Tao, there was another person who was both unfamiliar and familiar. Ning Shu was sitting on the sofa with his legs crossed as he nibbled on spicy duck neck. When he saw Tsang Mountain has a well-named Kong, he actually entered the house with his mother. How shocking. Third brother, fuck, why did he come here? Why did he come to their house? Mother Tao looked at Tsang Mountain has a well-named Kong in shock. Young man, is that your name? Tsang Mountain has a well-named Kong. No. Mother Tao gave Ning Shu a look. He came to find you. We met at the door and he said he was here to deliver something. Ning Shu sucked on the spicy taste on his finger. Why did you come to my house? To give you a gaming capsule to play games. Tsang Mountain has a well-named Kong gritted his teeth. Ning Shu, what was this? Someone was forcing him to play games? Mother Tao immediately perked up. This is someone you met in the game. He looks quite energetic. No wonder you wanted to go on a diet. Mother Tao looked at Tsang Mountain has a well-named Kong. This young man was handsome and energetic. Her clothes were not cheap. Yes, her family was rich. In short, under Mother Tao's titanium alloy dog eyes, she had already scored a point for Tsang Mountain's well-named Kong. What did it feel like to have an embarrassing mother? Especially now, it was so awkward. You're actually helping Yan Xingzhou lose weight. You're actually helping him lose weight. Ning Shu, no, I just wanted to show off. It's not easy to act cool if you're too fat. Since we're playing a game, I've sent the item over. You should be grateful. I've personally sent it over. I don't need your money. Just let me kill the thread. Ning Shu shook his head. I don't know how to play anymore. It's so boring. There was a well in Tsang Mountain called Kong. You've killed me so many times. Forget it. Ning Shu sighed. He clasped his hands behind his back and bemoaned the state of the universe and the fate of mankind. Buddhist light covered his entire body. Revenge breeds revenge. When will there ever be an end to it? Lay down the butcher's knife and become a Buddha. He really wanted to slap this bastard so hard that he wouldn't be able to come down. Why didn't he say something like this when he was killing others? Game. Ning Shu shook his head. My wish has already been fulfilled. I don't want to play games anymore. Besides, I'm not good at it. There was a well in Tsang Mountain called Kong. Fuck off. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Ning Shu said, don't doubt me. I've always been terrible at it. As for why I suddenly killed so many people, that was because I had a lot of pent-up anger in my heart. It was like I was sleepwalking. Even I couldn't believe it. Also, you want me to level up and play games from the beginning? It's so tiring. I don't want to play. Ning Shu directly rejected him. There was a well in Tsang Mountain called Kong. I'll leave the item here. If you don't want to play he was useless. You couldn't force him. There was a well in Tsang Mountain called Kong. After delivering the item, he was about to leave. Mother Tao was very enthusiastic and wanted him to stay for dinner. He didn't want to eat. He was already full from anger. Also, don't look at him like he was your son-in-law. He would rather stab himself blind than marry this damn fatty. Third brother, looks like he really hates you. Ning Shu spread his hands. So what? I don't care at all. After delivering the damn fatties game capsule, there was a well in Sung Mountain called Kong sneered and waited for the other party to come online. But after waiting for a few days, he didn't come online. He found third brother and asked the damn fatty. Third brother, he's talking about him. For a bowl of authentic oil splash noodles and chili oil yangbi, he traveled over land and water. There was a well in Sung Mountain called Kong. Fuck, he exploded on the spot. He was so angry, so angry. What kind of people were they? Eat, all they knew was to eat. He was speechless, so helpless. There was a well in Sung Mountain called Kong. Kong was so angry that he laughed. He couldn't vent his anger no matter what. He really wanted to kill that damn fatty countless times. Go die. Third brother, it's better if you don't send the game capsule to our house. It can't fit. You can ask someone to take it away when you want. My sister doesn't play games. She only likes to eat. As for the massacre a while ago, it was probably because she was so angry at the game that she cried. She had turned her anger into strength and was already performing better than usual. If she came to play now, she would probably be a piece of trash. Third brother felt that it was good that his sister quit the game now. If she continued playing, she would be a piece of trash. It would be a bit awkward if he broke his own legend. There was a well in Sung Mountain called Kong's face was dark. He really wanted to drag her into the game and let him stab her. His Smith account was about to become a god account, but now he couldn't find anyone to take revenge on. The depression and emptiness in his heart were indescribable. She was so carefree, running around everywhere. There was a well in Sung Mountain called Kong looked at third brother sinisterly. If that's the case, I'll pay for my sister's debt. Third brother almost jumped up. Fuck, are you crazy? You can't find anyone to kill, so you come to kill me. Did she kill you until you went crazy? There was a well in Sung Mountain called Kong. I have no choice. If you let her go offline, I won't kill you. Your sister, who knows where she went to eat and drink now? How can I let her go offline? Don't think that I'm afraid of you. It's not certain who will kill who. When Tao Jing went offline, she gave him everything in the warehouse, including equipment, gold coins, pet eggs, and so on. Anyway, she gave it all to him. He didn't have much now, but he had a lot of equipment. Come on, let's hurt each other. There was a well in Sung Mountain called Kong. It was really hard to swallow this anger. What was the point of killing Tao Jing's brother? It was boring. It was really boring. Only killing Fatty could make him feel excited. But she escaped without a trace. She had a steamed bun in her left hand and pickled vegetables in her right. I'm not playing anymore. I'm going to travel around the country to eat delicious food. I'm walking freely. /BK. Chapter 2639. She was so determined that she didn't want to play anymore. Yan Xingzhou said, it's probably because there are too many unpleasantness in the game. Instead of being unhappy playing the game, it's better not to play the game. Song Mountain has a well named Kong had no choice. He couldn't force other people to play the game. He just sighed. It was probably because of the expression pack. Don't play, don't play. It was so boring. No wonder the chubby girl said that she was holding back her anger. He was in this state now. Before, he was hiding from the chubby girl's pursuit and leveling up. He was trembling with fear. Now that she wasn't playing the game anymore, he had already leveled up, but she ran away. He didn't even have a target for revenge. So boring. Without a target, he felt that the game was boring. He didn't want to play anymore. Sung Mountain has a well named Kong said, I'm not playing this game anymore. Ask the old man for some money to invest in something else. Okay, the game's dungeons are almost done. I'm not done either. After playing for a long time, holographic games were also the same. Yan Xingzhou felt that he should go abroad. Yan Xingzhou and Song Mountain has a well-named Kong canceled their accounts and gave their equipment to their teammates who usually played dungeons with them. Even Gei Lai received 2 pieces of equipment. One was from Yan Xingzhou and the other was from Song Mountain has a well-named Kong. Gei Lai's heart jumped. This was the first time Yan Xingzhou gave her a gift. Gei Lai sent a message to Yan Xingzhou, why did you give me the equipment? Yan Xingzhou said directly, I'm not playing games anymore. Yan Xingzhou didn't want to play anymore. He was so dizzy that he couldn't see what was going on. Before, when Tao Jing stopped playing games, she was quite happy. These two would finally not be in contact anymore. Although she didn't understand why Tao Jing suddenly stopped playing, luck was obviously on her side. But how long had it been? Yan Xingzhou actually stopped playing. Gui Lai trembled and asked, "Did something happen in reality? You don't play games anymore?" Yan Xingzhou, something happened. I might go abroad. He was preparing to take over the family business. Gui Lai was completely stunned. Go abroad, go abroad? Yan Xingzhou went abroad. What should she do? And she didn't know when Yan Xingzhou would come back. Did she have to wait forever? They had nothing to do with each other. Even if she waited until Yan Xingzhou arrived, Yan Xingzhou might already be with another woman. It took him a long time to accept the news that Yan Xingzhou was going abroad. If Tao Jing went abroad, she wouldn't have a chance anymore, but at the same time, she wouldn't have a chance either. Gui Lai panicked and said to Yan Xingzhou, "I have something to tell you." Yan Xingzhou nodded in agreement. Return waited for Yan Xingzhou on the bustling streets. Players came and went all around him. Some even greeted Return, but Return was not in the mood to deal with them. Seeing Yan Xingzhou coming from afar, Gui Lai was so nervous that his palms were sweating. Walking closer, Yan Xingzhou asked, "What do you want to tell me?" "Are you sure you want to go abroad?" asked Gui Lai. Yan Xingzhou raised his eyebrows. This matter didn't seem to have much to do with her. She's most likely going abroad. She clasped her hands together nervously. "Do you have someone you like?" Yan Xingzhou shook his head. "Yan Xingzhou, I like you. Can you be with me?" After Gui Lai finished speaking, she stared at him, waiting for his response. Yan Xingzhou still shook his head. "I'm going back to my country. I don't know when I'll be back. So, let's not have anything to do with each other." Being in a foreign relationship was very difficult. Jet lag was a big problem. And most importantly, he didn't like Gui Lai. Gui Lai almost cried and quickly said, "I can go abroad with you." Yan Xingzhou irritably frowned. "Sorry, I don't like you. So, please don't sacrifice your youth to follow me." Life in a foreign country wasn't easy. There was a girl to take care of. He wasn't going for a vacation. He would be back in a day or two. Gui Lai really wanted to cry. "Then I'll wait for you." Yan Xingzhou didn't even think about it. His voice was a little frightened. Please don't wait for me. I can't give you any promises. I'm not worth waiting for me." Gui Lai's condition wasn't bad. There were many people who liked her. Why waste time on him? "Am I not good enough? You don't like me?" Gui Lai asked in frustration. She tried to make herself better in order to be worthy of Yan Xingzhou. But why did Yan Xingzhou still not like her? "You're very good. But there are so many excellent girls in the world. I like them all. I can't like them all. It's not that you're not good enough. It's that I don't like you." Yan Xingzhou didn't expect that he would have such a big scare when he was about to leave the game. Gui Lai didn't give up. "We can get along. Feelings could be cultivated." This sentence seemed to be the truth. It gave people who failed in their feelings the courage to continue to be entangled. "No, I'm going abroad." Yan Xingzhou was still hesitating whether to go abroad or not. But now it seemed that he had to go abroad. It was a must. "You really don't have to wait for me. Please don't wait for me. You have many people who like you. Try to be with someone else. I don't have time to accompany you. I can't give you any promises." Yan Xingzhou regretted coming here. It didn't feel good to be stuck to by someone he didn't like. Gui Lai saw him avoiding her like a snake. Her heart couldn't help but feel stifled. What do you mean he didn't have time? In this lifetime, he didn't accompany Tao Jing to look for food. He even had the patience to pluck prawns. He had time for Tao Jing. He didn't have time for her. The difference between liking and not liking was so big. Gui Lai, "But I only like you." Yan Xingzhou, "But I don't like you." Yan Xingzhou was speaking very impolitely now. Gui Lai wanted to see him being cold and heartless. "Then I'm leaving," Yan Xingzhou said as he went offline. Song Mountain has a well-named Kong's brother looked green. "What's wrong? Why does it seem like a ghost is chasing after you?" Yan Xingzhou said, "Nothing. He also didn't mention Gui Lai's confession. Song Mountain has a well named Kong. I've decided to go abroad. Didn't go abroad. He had to go abroad. Gui Lai wouldn't chase him abroad from the game, right? And in the game, he rarely revealed his family situation. Gui Lai couldn't find him even if she wanted to. You have several admirers in the game. Gui Lai, damn fatty. Alright, you're going abroad. Did you tell damn fatty? Song Mountain has a well-named Kong asked while counting on his fingers. No, why would I tell her? They didn't have many interactions. Saying that she liked him was just a little girl playing around. She lost weight for you. She didn't feel anything. Yan Xingzhou, people are afraid of thinking too much. /BK. Chapter 2640. Yan Xingzhou thought that she was easy to take care of and didn't like him that much. Anyway, he couldn't feel it. Ning Shu went to many places and lost weight. Ning Shu even started a live stream when she had nothing to do. She live streamed the unique delicacies of various places and even tasted some dark cuisine. She originally recorded it for fun, but she didn't expect her fans to grow. The money she earned was enough for her to run around and eat delicacies without spending her family's money. Sure enough, rich people could do whatever they wanted. Her skin color was much better at home now. It was white with a hint of red. Ning Shu was actually looking for the world's origin. She hadn't found it for a long time. When she was almost done with the delicacies in the country, she could go abroad to eat. Ning Shu wanted to run around. The mission this time was very easy, but the system's mechanical voice reminded her, mission completed, leaving the mission world. Ning Shu was still live streaming eating delicacies, but as soon as her soul left her body, her face was directly on the plate. Really? Could it be smarter? It didn't care whether the other party agreed or not and directly pulled the soul away. Ning Shu returned to the system space and heard 2333's alarm still ringing. Quests, quests, quests. Ning Shu. She had already finished a mission and returned. Why was it still ringing? Ning Shu felt a headache. Turn it off. Why does it keep on thinking about it? You don't have the authority to turn it off. It will ring after a period of time. It just happened to ring. The mechanical voice replied. Ning Shu. Why didn't 2333 trust her? Did it have to keep reminding her like this? Ning Shu poured the pure soul origin on the peerless martial art. The cracks on the peerless martial art's surface disappeared at a speed visible to the naked eye. It seemed that there weren't that many cracks. It seemed that it could be broken with a poke. After absorbing so much soul origin, it should be fine soon. She had almost used up her soul fluid. Now she had to use the golden soul origin fluid she had collected. It consumed too much soul origin. Even if the world was repaired, there was still a big problem. That was the law of nothingness in the world. There was nothing he could do about it. Ning Shu entered the land of peerless martial arts and saw that the law of nothingness was still bubbling. Sure enough, the orange crystals had more energy than the purple crystals. Even now, it was still cooking. As for whether or not the law of nothingness had decreased, Ning Shu could not tell. Steam rose from the steam and permeated the law of nothingness. She didn't know how long the star stone could last under such heat consumption. When the time came, she would ask He for the star stone. After all, he owed her a star stone. Otherwise, as time passed, it would become a bad debt, and he would refuse to admit it. Ning Shu rubbed his face as he stared at the law of nothingness with a forlorn expression. He almost knelt down before this ancestor. After a green rain, Ning Shu used his peerless martial arts and heard the sound of 2333. She was already asleep, but she still had to hear his voice. Who could listen to the alarm clock for half an hour? Wouldn't they smash the alarm clock if they didn't listen to it? Ning Shu sat on the sofa and absorbed the pure soul power. Then, he opened up his status panel and looked at his harvest. Name, Ning Shu. Age, 27 level, Super Mission Taker Points card, 362 plus 20, 10 million points per card. Soul value, 32 plus 2 health value, 28 plus 2 wisdom, 34 plus 2 luck, 34 plus 2 charm, 27 plus 2 spiritual power, 38 plus 2 martial strength, 33 plus 2 aptitude, 36 plus 2 faith, 6076494 plus 14,000 merit, 5,000 plus 18, 000 soul strength, 119 plus 9 authorization ticket, plus 1 pure heart, none law comprehended, water law incarnation, wood law incarnation, constructed world, reincarnation world items, calm halo, calming pill, faith halo, amulet 4, upgraded amulet plus 2 honorary titles, war god empress, selfless ancestor. Skills, 5th ring shooting technique, level close combat technique, minor achievement in peerless martial arts, level poison technique, low-level business management knowledge, beginner code programming, beginner lawyer skill, divine master ghost catching skill, beginner cooking skill, level embroidery skill, trash hypnosis halo, mother of the world, queen's blessing, sister model worker, Chen Shi's blessing, leader halo, grass's blessing, best friend for life, Meow Meow Meow's blessing, life-saving hand, Zhu Su's blessing, founding woman, Chen Ermiai's blessing, beauty-in-law, Chen Ning's blessing, bane of the blood clan, Jasmine's blessing, transcending race communication, by San Yang's blessing, brave heart, Wang Ying's blessing, bloodthirsty tyrant, Enai Binyan's blessing, heart of peace and joy, luck halo, faith halo. Completed the wish of Tao Jing. Mission completion rate, 100%. Mission rewards obtained, 20-point cards, 16 attribute points, 80% soul power, 14,000 faith power, including accumulated in previous worlds, 40% soul power, 40% soul power, 40% soul source, and the blessing of longevity. Ning Shu was speechless. Longevity blessing? She was more than 100 years old now. The foodie's blessing was simple and straightforward. This was probably not a blessing, but a curse. But since it was a blessing, Ning Shu accepted it. While enduring 2333's voice piercing through his brain, he opened the chat system. He found an he and directly asked for the star stone. And he, you're really vicious. Ning Shu rolled his eyes. Did he really think she was willing to beg for the star stone? Who didn't want to be a carefree little fairy? The problem was that no one knew how afraid she was of the law of nothingness collapsing. Ning Shu, is there? Give it to me. And he, no, didn't I give you 20 million merit points? Why you still asking me for the star stone? Ning Shu really wanted to spit on his face. The 20 million merit points were given by the officials. Privately, you owe me a star stone. And he, okay. He was so easy to talk to. Ning Shu thought he would have to waste a lot of time. But when he saw that the star stone was only the size of a small potato, Ning Shu directly threw the star stone to the ground. Damn, this was a scam. So small? How could people be so shameless? But it was better to have something than nothing. Ning Shu picked up the star stone and didn't spend any money. He threw the small potato star stone into the law of nothingness. Just throw it in there anyway. Ning Shu took out the ruby ring and projected a few rays of time into it. There was no reaction. Instead, the heat of the orange crystal decreased with time. Seeing this, Ning Shu didn't dare to project the rays of time into it. Otherwise, it would cause the energy of the orange crystal to be depleted. Ning Shu opened the black hole and entered the world of reincarnation anxiously. He didn't want to listen to 2333's chanting. First, he went to the world of the third level. He saw the world of scorching heat. The heat distorted the air. The leaves and grass curled up from the heat. The bodies of unknown creatures lay in the yellow sand. Birds that looked like vultures pecked at the white bones. /BK. Chapter 2641. Ning Shu was also convinced. The last time he came, it was a world of ice and snow. This time, it was extremely hot and there wasn't even any water. The laws of this world had not been established and there were no rules at all. The sudden change in weather was probably due to adjustments. However, the living beings of this world were having a hard time. Ning Shu pointed his finger and lowered the temperature of the water vapor in the clouds. Once the temperature of the clouds dropped, the water vapor turned into water and it naturally rained. At the same time, he moved the water of this world and it started to rain. Ning Shu saw that it was about to stop raining and felt that he was having a hard time too. When the weather was cold, he had to warm up this world. When the weather was hot, he had to make it rain. Once it rained, many living beings would play in the rain. They could only survive with water. Water was the source of life. Ning Shu left the third world and wanted to go to the fourth world. However, he couldn't squeeze in at all. It was like he was stuck in superglue and he couldn't move at all. What was wrong with the fourth world? It didn't even let him in. Alright, if it didn't let him in, Ning Shu couldn't do anything. After all, it wasn't his territory. Going to the first world, he didn't know if there were still people who wanted to come out and have fun. Ning Shu wanted to crawl into the hole, but the entrance of the hole was blocked by a big butt. Ning Shu. Ning Shu felt that the Thunder Qilin wasn't guarding against others but blocking her. Why didn't she leave when there was a ready-made hole? Ning Shu wanted to kick her but when he saw the lightning flickering butt, he decided against it. Not only would it hurt her soul, it would also hurt the Wood Law imprint. Ning Shu felt that there was a need to have a good talk with the Thunder Qilin. Every time she was blocked, how was she going to see the reincarnation pool? Ning Shu pressed his hand on the stone wall and entered the first world. On the way to the reincarnation pool, Ning Shu realized that the souls of the living beings in the world of reincarnation had become richer. There were those that flew in the sky, those that ran underground, those that swam in the water, spiritual beasts, humans, chickens, ducks, fish. There were large spiritual beasts and small fleas. In short, all the souls of the living beings in the Nine Palace Mountain were gathered here. There were many living beings that jumped into the reincarnation pool. Finally, he didn't have to worry about the nourishment of the world of samsara. Ning Shu squatted beside the reincarnation pool and looked at the beautiful sky and colors in the reincarnation pool. He was eager to jump in. He didn't know how to feel. Ning Shu felt that if he couldn't figure it out that day, he could just jump off the building. She had lost contact with 2333, leaving him dumbfounded. While waiting, Ning Shu used the system search function to search for matchstick men in the world of reincarnation. But there was no answer. Maybe the system blocked this kind of information. Ning Shu kept shaking his legs and anxiously waited for His Excellency's reply. Maybe His Excellency had been planting flowers all the time and hadn't replied yet. Ning Shu kept sending messages. His legs were shaking more violently. Now his whole body was shaking. Ning Shu pressed down on his uncontrollable shaking legs. He couldn't shake. It would make him poor. Why hadn't His Excellency replied yet? Was he going to find the silver-haired man again? As soon as he entered the consultation room, he had to be prepared to lose a lot of money. Ning Shu refused in his heart. Wait a little longer. If His Excellency didn't reply, he would have to find the silver-haired man. The feeling of being ripped off was really ecstatic. Ning Shu was a little impatient. He had to take out the agarwood and light it to calm himself down. Calm down. Calm down. He always felt that the appearance of the matchstick man was not a good thing for the world of reincarnation. Why did the system block some important information? There was a lot of knowledge and information that he didn't know. He was in the dark. Ning Shu sent a message to an he with shaking legs. And he, no star stone. Ning Shu. Help me ask His Excellency to reply to me. I have something important to talk to him about. And he should be very familiar with His Excellency. After all, he oversaw hundreds of millions of planes, including the world of reincarnation. And he's busy. I don't think he has time to read the message now. His Excellency would be busy. Wasn't he planting flowers? Ning Shu found very desperately that she still had to find the silver-haired man. Ning Shu didn't delay and went directly to the City of Wood. In the City of Wood, the wood method would absorb energy and also answer doubts. Ning Shu went to the consultation room and sat in a chair waiting for the silver-haired man to come out. There was agarwood in the consultation room, but it didn't calm Ning Shu's mood at all. The silver-haired man came out with a thick book. When he saw Ning Shu, he was calm. What do you want to consult this time? /BK. Chapter 2642. The silver-haired man looked as if he would not bat an eyelid even if Mt Tai collapsed in front of him. He was a stark contrast to Ning Shu, who was known to shake her legs. Ning Shu directly told him about the abnormality of the reincarnation pool, including the stinky stickman. The silver-haired man listened to her calmly, and after a long time, he said, "The reincarnation world has produced an evil beast." Evil beast? What is an evil beast? Ning Shu was stunned and quickly asked. The reincarnation pool eliminates the 7 emotions and 6 desires of the soul, as well as the various obsessions of the soul, such as gluttony, lust, greed, sadness, rage, sloth, conceit, and arrogance. In fact, these things did not disappear, but gathered together. Under the influence of various bizarre obsessions and emotions, they formed the evil beast, and the evil beast's form is ever-changing. The most evil things of the soul are gathered together, so the evil beast can pollute the soul. It is controlled by various emotions and obsessions, greed, jealousy, and fear. It is a monster. Every reincarnation world will produce this kind of thing, and it will take a lot of time and effort to destroy this kind of thing. Most of the forces in the reincarnation world are destroying this kind of thing. Ning Shu was speechless. This was really despairing news. She did not have a single soldier with her now. Did she have to personally destroy this kind of thing? In the end, this kind of monster was born because of the soul, but her heart resisted instinctively. Humans were cute because of their human nature, but also ugly because of their human form. Ning Shu asked, "What will happen if we don't deal with it?" "It will disturb the reincarnation world. The evil beast has the ability to pollute the soul, so it will cause the reincarnation world to fall into chaos." Ning Shu sighed. Her legs could not even tremble. She felt that this kind of thing was the same as the poison of earthworms. The poison of earthworms could pollute the soul, and when enough poison gathered, this kind of monster was born. Ning Shu asked, "How do we destroy it?" "Of course, we have to find soldiers who are not afraid of pollution," the silver-haired man said. Ning Shu asked, "Ru Shua? Who knew what kind of people were not afraid of this kind of pollution? The poison of earthworms could pollute even people, and then the soul." "Ru Shua's skeleton army," the silver-haired man said. During wartime, the skeleton army has to block the enemy's attacks. During peacetime, they have to exterminate the calamity beasts. Ning Shu wanted to sigh even more. He didn't have any skeletons. As for Li Si's skeletons, they were simply useless. It was truly despairing. It seemed that she would have to form a skeleton army in the future. But the problem was how to form a skeleton. Ning Shu pulled his hair and asked worriedly, "How did this skeleton army form?" The silver-haired man said, "The process is a bit complicated, and not everyone can become a skeleton. Before becoming a skeleton, they will suffer a lot." Ning Shu was speechless. His heart was numb, extremely numb. As for the specifics, you can ask the Abyssal Prefect. If an calamity beast forms in your world, it's best to get rid of it as soon as possible. Because it will grow stronger very quickly. When the time comes, it will be impossible to get rid of it. Ning Shu nodded and asked, "Now that the disaster beast is dead, where did the poison go?" It wasn't like the poison would disappear just because it was destroyed. The silver-haired man said, "Of course it is in the world of reincarnation. The rebirth pool will slowly absorb it. After absorbing it and gathering it together, more calamity beasts will be born?" Ning Shu asked expressionlessly. "Yes, it is a cycle. There will be a day when living beings are wiped out. There will be a day when the calamity beasts in the world of reincarnation will disappear." Ning Shu felt a headache, a huge headache. In the future, these calamity beasts would appear endlessly. After they were destroyed, they would appear again, a cycle over and over again. He thought that with the rebirth pool in the world of reincarnation, everything would be fine. He didn't expect such a thing to happen. Now that the world of reincarnation was still splitting up, who knew how many worlds there would be in the future? Damn, just thinking about it made Ning Shu's hair stand on end. She had built a world and a successful world of reincarnation, but there were more things to do and she had to shoulder more things. Of course, she didn't care. She could let the world of reincarnation develop on its own. Whether it was good or bad, she would be happy. But she might not be able to get rid of it. This feeling had already seeped deep into her bones. If she didn't take a look, she would feel uncomfortable. She was hopeless, despicable. Ning Shu rubbed his brows. His heart was so tired. He felt that he wouldn't love again. Is there anything else you want to ask? The silver-haired man asked calmly. Ning Shu's face was distorted. 200,000 merit points. Ning Shu's expression became even more distorted. Why is it so expensive? This is a matter of the world of reincarnation, not a systematic knowledge. It is natural for it to be more expensive. The silver-haired man said calmly. Ning Shu didn't have any more strength to bargain with him. He was worried about his world of reincarnation and decided to pay 200,000 merit points. The silver-haired man received the money. Let me give you a friendly reminder. If you can't deal with the calamity beasts in the world of reincarnation, you can rent some skeletons from the Lord of Reincarnation to kill the calamity beasts. The calamity beasts take some time to form. She had to rent them again and again. If one day the Lord of Reincarnation stopped renting them to her, she wouldn't be able to do anything. And even if she went to borrow them, the Lord of Reincarnation might not lend them to her. Ning Shu nodded and went out of the consultation room. The law of wood had absorbed enough energy. Ning Shu touched the leaf between his thumb and index finger. The water droplets on the leaf reflected the luster of a diamond. Ning Shu went back to the system space, opened the chat system and asked the Lord of Reincarnation. She didn't know if the Lord of Reincarnation was still busy and whether he had time to reply to her. Ning Shu waited for a while, shaking her legs, but there was no reply from the Lord of Reincarnation. Usually when she was busy planting flowers and looking for someone to help her, the other party suddenly became so busy. Ning Shu had no choice but to ask and he had a short temper, but he was easy to talk to. There is a problem in my world of reincarnation. I need to find the Lord of Reincarnation. Where did he go? I kept sending messages but he didn't reply. Ning Shu asked. It was so convenient to have a phone. She could just make a call instead of looking for him everywhere. Ning Shu felt that every task taker should have a phone. And I don't know. There are billions of worlds of reincarnation. Who knows which one he is in? Sometimes, the Lord of Reincarnation had to take action to suppress rebellious worlds of reincarnation. How could it be possible to find a person in so many worlds? Ning Shu wiped his face gloomily. Well, the beast of reincarnation was only the size of a stickman, but who knew how fast it grew? The greed, anger, and foolishness of those souls were nourishment for the beast of reincarnation. The more souls that jumped in, the more nourishment they would provide for the beast of reincarnation. Ning Shu felt a headache coming on. Can't you locate it? Ning Shu asked. Who the hell dares to locate a yaksha? And he said directly. Ning Shu, these big shots were really secretive. They disappeared without a word. There was no way to continue. It was really making him bald. /BK. Chapter 2643. Then who knows where His Excellency is? Ning Shu asked. And he replied, I really don't know. Ning Shu thanked him and closed the chat system. Ning Shu rubbed his face and opened the black hole. He appeared in the world of reincarnation. There was a disgusting stench around the pool of reincarnation. It was obviously something left behind by humans, but it was so smelly that even the souls themselves avoided it. Because of the appearance of the disaster beast, no souls dared to go near the pool of reincarnation. Ning Shu felt that if he stayed here for too long, his soul would be polluted. Ning Shu waved at Li Si, who was guarding the pool of reincarnation. My lady! Li Si's jaw opened and closed. Ning Shu looked at Li Si's white bones and rubbed his chin, looking him up and down. The bones of an abyssal prefect were golden in color, while Li Si's bones were white and ordinary. Could Li Si become as shiny as the 18 bronze arhats of Shaolin if he used merit to mold his body? Li Si felt a chill run down his spine when Ning Shu looked at him. He was already a skeleton and could not feel anything, but being looked at made him uncomfortable. He was like a piece of meat. Do you know what's wrong with the pool of reincarnation? Li Si nodded. There's a black thing. Can you catch it? Me. Li Si was a little puzzled. Can I catch it? That thing looked slippery. How could he catch it? Besides, she was now a skeleton. When she moved, her bones would creak. Could it really work? You can try. It's okay if you don't succeed, Ning Shu said directly. Li Si nodded. Then I'll try. Just like this won't do. Ning Shu looked at him and took out some merit. He pointed at his bones. The white bones looked like they were soaked in golden water and were gradually dyed gold. Li Si opened his hands and looked at his body. It was covered in a layer of gold. Madam, this is... Li Si was a little dumbfounded. He didn't know what had happened, but he could feel that his body had become lighter. He curled his fingers and his joints were no longer stiff. Li Si jumped and felt that his body had jumped very high. Try to catch this thing, Ning Shu said. She did not want to touch the calamity beast at all. If the calamity beast spat at her, it would definitely contaminate her soul. Sure enough, the most poisonous thing in the world was still the soul poison. All right, I'll give it a try. What happens after I catch it? Li Si asked. Ning Shu really hadn't thought about this. Oh right, he forgot to ask how to kill the disaster beast. Fuck, how could I forget such an important thing? Could it be that he had to look for the silver-haired man? Catch him first. I'll be back. Li Si had been playing with his fingers, waiting for the matchstick man to come out. He felt like he had his own body. He didn't know what was so godly. If that was the case, wouldn't he have more time to wait for the young master? He didn't know if the young master's soul had changed. Was he a man or a woman? What if he missed the young master? If the young master became a pig, a dog, a cow, or a sheep, how would he recognize him? If he had known, he would have stopped the young master from reincarnating. Ning Shu lifted his skirt and rushed to the consultation room. When the silver-haired man came out and saw that it was still Ning Shu, he was very calm. Ning Shu went straight to the point and asked, "What kind of power can destroy the calamity beast?" Filthy things naturally have to be destroyed with pure things. Pure faith power, the silver-haired man said. This meant that the hands of the abyssal prefect also had merit and faith power. How does the merit of the world of reincarnation come from? Ning Shu couldn't help but ask. How much merit is there to allow living beings to reincarnate? Of course there is merit. As for faith power, there is naturally an organization that distributes it. Damn, Ning Shu suddenly felt that the organization was really tough. Forget about the billions of living beings. There was also the world of reincarnation that provided for billions of living beings. The silver-haired man asked for 50,000 merit points. One question for 50,000. My mother? He should try to come less in the future. If he had any questions, he should ask them all at once. He was really worried sick. His heart was really tired, really tired. Can you contact the abyssal prefect? I have something to ask her. Ning Shu asked the silver-haired man. Yes, 100,000 merit points. Ning Shu's face was filled with fear. He wrapped himself tightly in the blanket. How black-hearted was this person? What surprised Ning Shu was that he could actually contact the abyssal prefect. Little Silver? What was the relationship between the two of them? Ning Shu endured the pain and spent 150,000 merit points. He felt that the silver-haired man was earning money too quickly. No, there were 3 free questions. Now there is one more. Ning Shu reacted. Just contacting her would actually cost 100,000 merit points. If he wanted more, he would have to say it blindly. Okay. Forget it, I have already paid the bill. He would ask a question one day. If the price was too high, he would ask it for free. The silver-haired man started to contact the abyssal prefect. His chat system was a little different. The abyssal prefect replied very quickly. Ning Shu was speechless. This difference in treatment really made him want to cry. The silver-haired man asked him to come over. He said that he had something important to talk to her about. Ning Shu's face was cold the whole time, JPG. If someone said that the two of them had nothing to do with each other, she would definitely not believe it. A black carved door appeared at the door. The door opened and a man in a tuxedo came out. He walked into the room and sat down. He asked, "Why are you looking for me?" "She is looking for you," the silver-haired man said. The abyssal prefect's gaze shifted to Ning Shu. He saw that she was sitting upright on the chair, obedient the whole time. Her whole body was filled with a strange atmosphere. The abyssal prefect asked, What is it? An evil beast appeared in my world of reincarnation. I want to ask for your help. Ning Shu said. Just kill the evil beast. Why are you looking for me? The abyssal prefect was a little tired. Because I don't have an army of bones to kill the evil beast, so I want to borrow some from you. Ning Shu said. If I could kill it directly, why would I ask you for help? The abyssal prefect was also quite annoyed. He pointed at the black carved door and a few golden bones appeared. Beauty, beauty. When the bones saw Ning Shu, they instantly shouted. Ning Shu was speechless. Take these to the world of reincarnation. They are for you. Ning Shu thanked him. Thank you. I will return them to you when the time comes. The abyssal prefect said a few words and disappeared into the black carved door. Beauty, beauty. Are we going to follow the beauty in the future? Ning Shu was very desperate. The abyssal prefect was such a proper abyssal prefect. Why were these bones so indecent? Ning Shu opened the black hole and appeared in the world of reincarnation with the 4 bones. That evil beast is still quite small. The 4 of you should be more than enough. Ning Shu said. When we come out, we will kill it. Okay, beauty has the final say. Lower your head to beauty. Beauty, you have the final say. Me too. Ning Shu face-bombed and smiled awkwardly. I am really speechless. /BK. Chapter 2644. There is one more thing that I need your help with. I'll have to trouble you to teach this little brother how to kill the calamity beast. The 4 skeletons looked at Li Si, who was covered in a faint golden color. This little brother doesn't have enough merit. If he doesn't have enough merit, it is very likely that he will be corroded. Although our bones and souls can withstand the torment, we will still be corroded. Ning Shu looked at the 4 skeletons. Li Si's color was heavy. Li Si's was a light golden color, and this golden color was very heavy. Then you can do it. Next time, I will reward you with merit. Ning Shu said to Li Si. Li Si, so you guys have already said what you want to say. What else can I say? I keep feeling that I have been taken on an unknown path. However, the appearance of 4 people who were skeletons like him made Li Si feel both shocked and inexplicably at ease. He thought that he was the only skeleton in the world. He didn't expect that there were others of his kind. Beauty, don't worry. This matter will definitely be settled for you. A skeleton patted its sternum. It was really afraid that it would break the bones. Yes, it will definitely be settled. Beauty, don't worry. Ning Shu, you guys are guarding hell. Don't tell me that you haven't seen any beauties. This ferocious look was really like a pig that had been in the army for 3 years. The problem was you guys were skeletons. Of course, Ning Shu also felt that he was quite beautiful. What kind of beauty is an ordinary creature in hell? We can pinch them to death with one hand. What we pursue are beauties of the strength type. Strength type? Ning Shu was speechless. Did they mean that she was burly? Forget it, what was the point of arguing with skeletons? He asked, how did you guys become skeletons? I don't know. I don't remember. Ning Shu pondered. Could it be that even the skeleton's memories had to be removed? Anyway, I don't remember. I remember that it was very painful to become a skeleton. Yes, beauty. Do you know how painful it was? It was as painful as being bitten by ants and poisonous snakes day after day. It seemed to be cleaning off the flesh on my body bit by bit. Damn, just listening to it was painful. Ning Shu and Li Si asked, what about you? In the blink of an eye, Li Si turned into a skeleton. It was as if Li Si did not experience any pain. I'm fine. It's just that there are maggots crawling all over my body every day. It's a bit painful. Li Si thought about guarding the young master and felt less uncomfortable. With obsession and faith, of course it wouldn't be so painful. Many people couldn't endure it and their souls were scattered. Talking about the experience of becoming a skeleton, the atmosphere was a bit solemn. Ning Shu stared at the rebirth pool. Why hadn't the calamity beast crawled out? Could it be that it had sensed danger and was hiding? Beauty, don't worry. We've dealt with this kind of thing for countless years. We'll help you deal with it. What could Ning Shu do? He could only choose to believe in the professionals. As long as this matter was not resolved, she would not feel at ease. All right then, you guys stay here. Ning Shu had no choice but to wait until the matter was resolved before she could feel at ease. This was the first time he had encountered such a situation. If he didn't solve it, Ning Shu wouldn't be in the mood to do quests. You're beautiful. We'll definitely help you deal with it. Yes. What about the 3 views of these skeletons? If one day, the calamity beast turned into a beauty, wouldn't these skeletons have to bow down to her beauty? Ning Shu glanced at the rebirth pool and entered the 2nd level to take a look. Beauty, take care. Come and play often. Beauty, don't worry. A skeleton took out a handkerchief from nowhere. Ning Shu waved it. Ning Shu hurriedly left and entered the 2nd level. He went to the place where the barrier was set up. He walked into the barrier and took a look. There was no one in the thatched hut. Where did they go? There was a little girl before? Did the 2 of them elope? Damn, unfilial disciple. Ning Shu sat on a stool and scanned with his spiritual power. He saw that the kitchen was still cooking. They should still be there. Hee. This kind of wild vegetable tastes very good. Ning Shu looked at the young man and woman carrying baskets. The girl even had a garland on her head. And what a hazy feeling of love. Ning Shu propped up his chin and looked at the 2. Young people were really good. Ning Shu suddenly lamented that he was a little old. Master, why are you here? Yi Lin saw Ning Shu and immediately asked. Why can't I come? Ning Shu said. Senior, the girl shouted. Have you cultivated? Ning Shu asked. He felt that the current Yi Lin was a little slack. Perhaps it was because life was too good. I have cultivated, Yi Lin said. Ning Shu didn't say much. Cultivate hard. If you don't improve, some existences will make you lose something and then force you to continue to work hard. Yi Lin didn't understand why his master was looking at him like that. There was a trace of helplessness mixed with pity. What was there to pity? Master, this is the soul fluid I found recently. You can take it. The earthworm crawled out of the ground. When it saw Ning Shu take the soul fluid, it was in despair. This was its food. Let me see the results of your cultivation. Ning Shu scanned his body and frowned. You didn't cultivate much, right? Why is there no difference from before? There is a difference, there is, Yi Lin quickly said. Ning Shu looked at him. Do as you see fit. I won't say much. If you don't work hard, what will make you work so hard? Ning Shu looked at the girl who was busy in the courtyard. Master. Yi Lin saw Ning Shu staring at the girl. I have nothing to do with her. Master, don't. You think I want to kill her? Ning Shu snorted. Am I such a cruel person? Yi Lin. He didn't dare to guess what the demoness was thinking. I've said what I need to say, so it's up to you what you want to do. You don't seem to want to cultivate anymore. You're so tired. Do you want to be an ordinary person and live an ordinary life with the person you like? Ning Shu tapped his finger on the table, making tapping sounds. Yi Lin was a little uncomfortable. Master, I've thought about it before. Ning Shu only said one sentence. I hope you're well. Some people are destined not to live an ordinary life. A comfortable environment made people slack off. Ning Shu smiled. Before I leave, I'll remove the barrier. These 2 children seemed to be living in a comfortable little nest. There was no danger, and it was warm and cozy. Yi Lin's expression changed slightly. If the barrier was removed, the people who were chasing the girl would arrive soon. When that time came, his strength wouldn't be able to protect him. Master, please don't remove the barrier. I'll definitely work hard to cultivate. Yi Lin immediately knelt at Ning Shu's feet. He looked terrified, as if he was afraid of Ning Shu. The truth is, whether you cultivate seriously or not, it's none of my business. I've taught you the secret cultivation manual. As a master, it's up to you to cultivate. If you don't work hard, I won't say anything. Yi Lin kowtowed. Master, I'll definitely cultivate well. /BK. Chapter 2645. Strictly speaking, she had nothing to do with Yi Lin. Their master-disciple relationship could only be said to be very shallow. Ning Shu was just following the natural law and helping him along the way. She didn't place any hope or request on Yilin. She just occasionally fulfilled the responsibility of a master. Even if Yilin wanted to destroy his own martial arts, she wouldn't say anything. She wasn't Yilin's parents. Anyway, someone would teach him how to be a man. Yilin knelt on the ground. Ning Shu didn't speak. He didn't get up, looking quite terrified. Ning Shu felt that he had caused a serious psychological trauma to the people of this world. Even his disciple was afraid of him. Bai Sisi came over and knelt together with Yilin. She kowtowed and said, "Please don't punish Brother Yi. It's all my fault." Ning Shu crossed her legs and said, "I'm afraid you didn't tell him your true identity. If you did, he would cultivate like a madman to protect you." Bai Sisi looked hesitant. She bit her lip and said, "I'm the saintess of the saint-worshipping sect." The saint-worshipping sect is a special sect. It doesn't have any reputation in Jianghu. It's a hidden sect. Ning Shu smiled at Yilin and said, "See? Your enemy is so powerful. He wants to snatch someone from a sect, but you still slack off." Yilin wanted to refute that he didn't have that kind of relationship with Bai Sisi, but he didn't dare. Her bluntness had broken the window paper between the two of them. Ning Shu caught an earthworm and played with it with a stick. He said to Bai Sisi, "Go on." The saintess of the saint-worshipping sect has to have a good foundation and a pure body. When she turns 16, she will kill the saintess and exist in the form of a soul to get rid of her body. Ning Shu raised his eyebrows. This sect was quite extreme. Abandoning the body? I'm afraid that the girl will fall in love and sleep with a man? Bai Sisi blushed, embarrassed. That's right. I was chosen to become the saintess. I grew up in the holy worshipping church. The granny who took care of me was killed while helping me escape. Speaking of the nanny, Bai Sisi's eyes reddened. She was sad and indignant. Since you're going to abandon your body, why bother with the bone structure? You're going to abandon your body anyway. Ning Shu raised his eyebrows and asked. He was afraid that someone had taken over his body. I'm not sure about that. That's why the holy worshipping cult won't let you off. Bai Sisi was very dispirited. She sat on her own lap, terrified. Yes, even if you have to search to the ends of the earth, you have to find me. I am the holy maiden of holy worshipping religion, and I will be the holy maiden for the rest of my life. Exterminating human desires was quite extreme. It forcefully deprived the saintess of her emotions. However, there would be a day when it would be destroyed. It was probably because of Yilin. However, this had nothing to do with Ning Shu. Not everything in the world was her responsibility. Nine Palace Mountain was not her responsibility in the first place. It was a thankless task, and she would be scolded after doing it. Yilin looked at Bai Sisi. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Yilin, I can't get rid of the holy worshipping cult. I just want to live a peaceful life before the holy worshipping cult comes. Bai Sisi's expression was numb. Obviously, she was prepared for the worst. If you're no longer a virgin, how will the holy worshipping cult treat you? Ning Shu asked. Bai Sisi was stunned. Then her face turned red. She silently distanced herself from Yilin and said, "The soul disperses. If the body is tainted, then the soul is no longer pure. It will be tortured until a new saintess is chosen." Pure soul? Unless it was the soul of a newborn, there was no pure soul. Otherwise, how could the world of reincarnation give birth to an evil beast? She felt that the saintess was the scapegoat. Everything that happened was the saintess' fault. No wonder she wanted to run. Ordinary people could not bear this. Some people were more resistant to brainwashing. If the brainwashing was not enough, they would easily resist. Obviously, Bai Sisi resisted. Yilin kowtowed to the ground. He said in a low, muffled voice, "Master, don't remove the barrier. This disciple will cultivate well. I won't let you down." "No, I don't care whether you let me down or not." In the end, it was her behavior that made it impossible for her to be a close master and disciple with Yan Xingzhou. It was a very shallow relationship. Ning Shu did not intend to change it either. She was afraid that Yilin's heart had already started to blame the heavens and the earth. He also blamed her as his master. This was a very normal behavior. Otherwise, if everyone blamed her, she would not be able to bear it. Ning Shu crossed her legs. Look, you didn't work hard before, and now you're dying. You can't live a normal life. Bai Sisi also can't live a normal life. Both of you can't live a normal life, but you want to live a normal life. Yi Lin kowtowed again. Master, this disciple knows his wrongs. Don't apologize to me. How you want to live is your choice. She was worried about the evil beast, and now she had to worry about her disciple. She did not even want to do the mission anymore. She did not know if the skeleton had been dealt with. This time, the evil beast had been dealt with. If another evil beast appeared, Ning Shu would definitely be much calmer now. Ning Shu stood up. Yi Lin kowtowed. It was very sincere. Just listening to the sound, one could feel the pain. Master, please don't remove the enchantment. Bai Sisi also kowtowed. Senior, please don't punish Big Brother Yi. Ning Shu, I'm a bad person, cultivate properly. How can it be so embarrassing? You have strength and confidence. Ning Shu said indifferently. It's not that you can't relax, but you're completely relaxed. What can you do if the toad is not willing to leave? Of course, you have to poke it with a tree branch. If it hurts, it will naturally jump. Ning Shu was too clear about the morality of the heavens. Which main character did not have a hard time forcing their parents to die and their beloved girl to die? These pains would either make people break at the waist or make people work hard. You're on your own now. Ning Shu turned to the earthworm and said, I'm leaving. You're not coming with me. The earthworm asked, What do you mean? You're not coming in the future. It's normal for a young boy and girl to have some feelings for each other. What are you angry about? What's there to be angry about? She was not Yi Lin's parents. She had to think for Yi Lin's entire life. Moreover, she was not so bored as to break up an affectionate couple. She had eaten too much. I'm warning him. When the time comes, he won't lose both the girl and the money. Don't make it sound like the pursuit of power is a disgrace. Power was to protect one's life, to protect one's dignity. When faced with a massacre, it was not to lose one's dignity and beg bitterly. If he had the ability to drink dew and become a fairy, she had nothing to say. Damn, if you don't come in the future, what should I do? The earthworm's black eyes stared at Ning Shu. Do you have to be so angry? I'm busy. I'm not angry. You don't want the soul fluid? The earthworm asked. There should be a lot of soul fluid in this world. Moreover, there are people who are secretly refining soul fluid. When the time comes, there will be a lot of soul fluid. /BK. Chapter 2646. You don't want it anymore? Earthworm tempted Ning Shu. She wanted it, but she didn't have the time to look for it all over the world. She was too busy. This disciple is not bad. He always gives you a part of his soul fluid. If you don't care about him, it would be a pity if he died. It seemed that Earthworm was living a good life with Yi Lin. His heart was on Yi Lin's side. Ning Shu said, I'm leaving. Take care of yourself. Thank you, Master. Yi Lin kowtowed. He looked a little ashamed. Thank you, Senior. Ning Shu was about to leave when the barrier was touched by something. With a pop, the barrier was broken. Ning Shu spread his hands. The barrier is broken. It should be the people from the holy worshipping religion. Bai Sisi's face changed. Her body trembled uncontrollably. She looked terrified. It seemed that she was really afraid of the holy worshipping religion. A few men in black floated in the air. They wore capes, and their faces were covered by their hats. Saints. Bai Sisi's teeth were chattering. Saintess, please come back with us. The saints said to Bai Sisi. Bai Sisi hid behind Yi Lin in horror. She kept trembling. I don't want to go back. Saintess, don't forget your responsibility. Also, saintesses can't get close to men. Yi Lin looked at the 8 people. Their aura was so strong that it made Yi Lin feel desperate. If Bai Sisi was taken back, she would definitely be punished. Maybe he would never see Bai Sisi again. Her soul would be scattered, and she wouldn't even have the chance to reincarnate. Yi Lin couldn't help but look at Ning Shu. Master was their savior now. Yi Lin was annoyed. Why didn't he cultivate properly recently? Maybe if he cultivated, he would have the strength to fight these people. Even if he didn't have the strength to fight, he could still escape with by Cici. Ning Shu could feel his disciples' gaze. He said to the emissaries, "Well, this holy lady is now my disciple's wife." The divine envoys looked at each other and were furious. Has the saintess lost her virginity? Ning Shu was speechless. Was that what she meant? Bai Cici is also a newborn. What are you guys thinking? Bai Cici didn't know where her courage came from, but she stuck her head out from behind Yi Lin. That's right. I'm no longer a virgin. If you take me back, I won't be able to become the saintess. Yi Lin's ears immediately turned red. The saint coldly said, "Even if you no longer have a pure body, I'll still take you back to be punished. You're not a pure saintess, you deserve to be punished." Ning Shu was speechless. Fuck, this holy worshipping sect is full of male chauvinist cancer, and it's late-stage malignant. There's no saving them. Pure and unblemished? Why would they want the saintess to be pure and unblemished? Ning Shu interrupted, "Don't be in such a hurry. Let's talk this out. We'll be in-laws in the future. Since CC is my disciple's woman, there's no point in punishing her. It's better to let the two of them live together." Yi Lin suddenly looked at his master, a little touched. He still cared about his disciple in his heart. He still protected him in front of outsiders. "Master, you're a good master." One of the divine envoys said, "Demonis in red, we've given you face and didn't kill your disciple directly. He's defiled the holy lady's pure and unblemished body. He'll be torn to pieces. How can anyone break the rules of the sect? If this is the first, the world will be in chaos." Ning Shu's mouth twitched. A woman's body could cause chaos. What kind of logic was this? Ning Shu chuckled. I'm actually so famous that even the secluded sects know about me. Let's talk this out. Since the two of them love each other, I'll let them be. Demonis, if you insist on protecting these two, they'll kill you. Although you have some strength in the secular world, you're just an ant in front of the holy worshipping sect. The sect has spent so many resources to help the holy lady with her cultivation. How can we just let her go? Ning Shu said, "I'll give you a betrothal gift. Whatever you want, I'll give it to you." The divine envoys looked at each other. How could there be such a person? Who would want to be in-laws with you? They didn't want your betrothal gift. They just wanted to take her back. This was their duty. Otherwise, they would be the ones to be punished. 8 divine envoys, who were dressed in black and whose faces couldn't be seen clearly, surrounded the 3 of them. Ning Shu said to the 2, "If you want to live, then fight." Bai Cici took out her weapon. Yi Lin released his bull-shaped energy. Ning Shu watched from the side. In the future, she wouldn't be able to stay with these 2 all the time. So, she would be hunted down at any time. Her barrier was broken by the divine envoys, which meant that it wasn't safe to stay in the barrier, chasing them all the way to become stronger. This was the right way. But she didn't know if Bai Cici would be caught in the end. Bai Cici was talented and powerful, but her combat experience was almost zero. She still needed to rely on Yi Lin's protection. 1 person against 8 people. Yi Lin was almost going all out. Ning Shu transmitted his voice, "Take her and run. The barrier is useless against these people. You'll have to rely on yourself in the future." "Thank you, Master." Yi Lin grabbed Bai Cici's hand and broke out of the encirclement from a corner. Yi Lin and Bai Cici sat on the back of the bull and ran all the way. Ning Shu floated down from the branch and stopped the divine envoys who were chasing after them. The divine envoys were very angry. "Get out of my way." "No, it's good to be in-laws. We can even give each other gifts during festivals. It's not good to fight like this." Ning Shu took out his shiny broadsword and extended his vines. Anyway, he was just stalling for time so that the 2 of them would have time to escape. While the divine envoys fought with Ning Shu, they also had to guard against the attacks of the vines. Even the hidden sects knew that the Demonis in red had destroyed several cities with her vines and changed the world's situation. They felt that the remaining aura of the divine envoys was getting weaker and weaker. It wouldn't be easy to track down the divine envoys. The divine envoys were very frustrated. The 8 of them all used their ultimate moves on Ning Shu. Ning Shu didn't plan to fight them head-on. He dodged their ultimate moves. It was too tiring to fight them head-on. Feeling that a lot of time had passed, Ning Shu opened a black hole and left. Bye. Then he disappeared in front of the divine envoys. As for the 8 divine envoys, Ning Shu didn't kill any of them. They were left for Yi Lin. Even if she killed all the divine envoys, Yi Lin and Bai Cixi would be in a new crisis. Rather than an uncertain new crisis, it was better to let the divine envoys kill the 2 of them. In short, if she didn't push him to desperation, she wouldn't be able to force out his body's potential. Ning Shu appeared in the first level of the world of Samsara. He went to the reincarnation pool to see if the skeletons had killed the disaster beast. Then Ning Shu saw a few skeletons sitting beside the reincarnation pool and playing Fight the Landlord in a circle. Ning Shu was speechless. For some reason, Ning Shu really wanted to kick the skeletons into the reincarnation pool and drink the reincarnation water. /BK. Chapter 2647. He couldn't control his temper at all. Ning Shu walked over and stood behind one of the skeletons. He said, "A pair of aces. I'll listen to the beauty. A pair of aces. I'll take a pair of kings." One of the skeletons laughed. "I won." Ning Shu looked at the bets in front of them. The irregular gold nuggets. Was it gold? The skeletons smiled and accepted the gold nuggets. Then they chewed and ate. Ning Shu. "Beauty, why are you here? You came to see us so soon. Beauty is good at heart. I'm willing to serve you forever. Please accept our sincere love." Ning Shu. "I'll bear with it. If it was broken, it would be hard to return it to the Abyssal Prefect." Yaksha was protective. Ning Shu said, "I'm here to see if you've dealt with the disaster beast." "How can it be so fast? This disaster beast is still growing. Does it come out frequently?" "It will only come out when it grows to a certain extent." The skeletons said. Ning Shu. "So we have to wait for the disaster beast to mature. How long will that take?" Ning Shu face-bombed. If he didn't deal with it, he wouldn't feel at ease. "It depends on the amount of soul poison filtered out from the rebirth pool. If there's a lot, it will grow faster. If there's a little, it will naturally grow slower. If you want it to be faster, you can throw a few batches of souls into the rebirth pool. Maybe it will be faster. Forget it. Let's wait." Ning Shu said, "Stay away from the rebirth pool. The souls don't dare to come here. Listen to the beauty. These souls are timid. The weaker the soul, the easier it is to be frightened. Beauty, do you want us to catch some souls and throw them in? It can reduce the burden on the world of reincarnation." Ning Shu looked at the world of reincarnation that wasn't very crowded. "Forget it. It's so sparse. If there's no soul, you won't be able to tell that it's the world of reincarnation." It seemed like it wouldn't be solved in a short time. He didn't know how long he would have to worry about it. Do missions? He wasn't in the mood. Or he could go pick up trash. Maybe he could even get some star stones. Ning Shu asked, "What are the gold nuggets?" Merit. He had never seen merit in a physical form. It was so ugly. To Ning Shu, merit points were a string of data. Whenever he bought something, the number would decrease. He must have used some method to materialize the merit. "All right. You guys keep watch. If you succeed, I'll give you some merit points," Ning Shu said. Bonehead immediately said, "I'm willing to work for a beauty." "Thank you, beautiful lady." Li Si was obviously shocked by the shamelessness of his own kind. He was originally a servant, so he couldn't joke like these skeletons. Ning Shu returned to the system space. 2333's hypnotic voice finally stopped ringing. He let out a sigh of relief. He was a little afraid of 2333's voice. He felt like throwing up. Ning Shu clicked on the video and watched Tao Jing's return. Then he clicked on the chat system and asked "Is there a broken plane? I want to go." And he asked, "Do you have a world that contains living creatures?" Ning Shu, "No, I can help pick up the trash." And "Do you understand the rules?" Ning Shu, no, I can help pick up the ordinary trash. And he, what do I need you to do? Ning Shu, help pick up the trash. And he, you want the star stone, right? Ning Shu, no, I just want to help pick up the trash. And he, that when Ning Shu sent another message, he found that the other party had blacklisted him. Why were people so fragile? They were too impetuous. They blacklisted him just because of a disagreement. Ning Shu looked at the video and found that Tao Jing could still be wild. She was wild in the country, but she went out. In a place covered in snow, she dressed like a bear and live-streamed eating frozen fish. She became a world of her tongue. Moreover, many restaurants around the world would invite Tao Jing to eat, and at the same time, broadcast live to advertise for them. Ning Shu was convinced by Tao Jing's ability to treat eating as a career. Moreover, Tao Jing was much more professional. Ning Shu didn't focus on eating like Tao Jing. Tao Jing would explain all kinds of things while eating, making him drool and lick his phone screen. The more he watched, the hungrier he got. He couldn't wait to eat a bowl of delicious food like in the livestream. Tao Jing and Yan Xingzhou were fated. Every time Tao Jing went to a city, she would go to the most famous restaurant and taste the classic dishes. The two of them were 2 tables apart. Tao Jing was live streaming. Yan Xingzhou put down his knife and fork and watched her talk not far away, smiling. Before the dishes came, Tao Jing would explain the decoration design of a restaurant and show the teacups on the table. There was a big hiking bag next to her seat. It was worn out and a little discolored. Yan Xingzhou watched the whole process of the live stream. She would taste the appetizers, the main meal, and the dessert after the meal. She explained the whole process. He felt that eating was a pleasure in the world, not just to fill his stomach. When she finished eating, Yan Xingzhou called the waiter and paid Tao Jing's bill. The waiter said that the lady's bill was on the house. On the house? Yan Xingzhou was a little surprised. It was free to eat in a big restaurant. No wonder she didn't play games anymore. There were more interesting things. After Tao Jing finished eating, she carried her hiking bag and said goodbye to the owner. Some restaurant owners would give Tao Jing money to say a few good words for the restaurant. But Tao Jing didn't accept it. The fans she gathered through her live stream gave her enough money to ignore these temptations. Besides, Tao Jing didn't lack money. Every once in a while, Mother Tao would transfer some money to her bank card, afraid that her daughter would live a miserable life in a foreign country. Yan Xingzhou paid the bill and walked out of the restaurant. Seeing her standing at the door, he reached out and tapped her shoulder. Tao Jing turned around and saw Yan Xingzhou. She was a little surprised. She didn't expect to meet someone she knew here, and someone she knew from the game. Yan Xingzhou was a little amused. She didn't look like someone who wanted to kill him in the game at all. Tao Jing said a few words to Yan Xingzhou. She looked at her watch and said, "I'm leaving." "Why are you in such a hurry?" "Because I have to go to dinner," Tao Jing said. "Then leave me your number. If you need anything in the future, you can come find me." "No need. Maybe I won't be in this area in a few days." Tao Jing refused directly. It wasn't because she was reserved or anything, but because she didn't think it was necessary. Yan Xingzhou was speechless. Tao Jing called for a taxi. Yan Xingzhou got in as well. Tao Jing looked at him. Yan Xingzhou said, "You seem to be a gourmet. I want to try some food with a gourmet." Okay. Tao Jing put down her backpack and got in the car. Holding her hiking bag, she told the driver the location. /BK. Chapter 2648. Yan Xingzhou looked at her and asked, "Aren't your parents worried about you coming out alone? Some places were still very dangerous." "They are worried, but they watch my live stream every day," Tao Jing said. "What about the language barrier?" "I know how to use translation software." Yan Xingzhou suddenly felt that she was quite amazing. "How far is the restaurant for dinner from here?" "About 40 kilometers. Yan Xingzhou was speechless. "For a bite of food and for dinner? Then you might not be able to go back later." "It's okay. I've already booked a hotel near the restaurant. Sometimes the restaurant books it for me. The language barrier is sometimes a big problem." Yan Xingzhou smiled. Ning Shu supported his chin. He was so envious of Tao Jing's life. She had developed her hobby into a career. Eating to earn money. It was awesome. Seeing Yan Xingzhou like this, could it be that he wanted to reach out to Tao Jing? Maybe it was possible, maybe it wasn't. Actually, it didn't matter whether they were together or not. If Tao Jing could travel thousands of miles like now, she wouldn't be so depressed. Tao Jing was so naughty and happy now. Even if she was married, Yan Xingzhou should be the one worried. Ning Shu turned off the video and opened the Big Shots group. He asked, "Big Shots, I want to pick up trash. What qualifications do I need?" Understanding the rules. Being able to build a passage and go to the place where the plane is destroyed at any time. Ning Shu was speechless. She didn't meet any of the requirements. Oh my God, so angry. How do I build a passage? Ning Shu asked again. Understanding the space law and the rules. Only then can you accurately locate the location. Ning Shu was speechless. Oh my God, those who picked up trash now were all high-end talents. So desperate. In the end, the space law was so important, but she couldn't understand it. Back then, for the 9-palace mountain surface world, she understood the space law. Now that she didn't need it anymore, she still had to understand the space law. She had to understand it. She had to understand the space law, teleportation, positioning, building a passage, and the lethality of space. High-level laws were quite difficult to understand. But if she didn't seize the time now, when the laws dried up in the future, she wouldn't have the chance to understand them. Ning Shu gave a red packet as a token of her appreciation to the Big Shots in the group for their help in clearing up their doubts. Ning Shu held his breath and packed 5,000 faith power, hoping that he would be able to get it this time. Every time he sent it out, he couldn't get it. Ning Shu sent out the red packets. When he returned to the chat page, he clicked on the red packets and was notified that all the red packets had been snatched. Ning Shu was speechless. In order to be able to snatch it, she had specially packed 2 more, but she still did not manage to snatch it. There were many Big Shots who snatched red envelopes. The king of luck was still Tai Shu. Ning Shu felt that Tai Shu was using a cheat system. How could he snatch red envelopes whenever and wherever he wanted? Hadn't he already blacklisted her? How could he still snatch her red packet? How shameless! If he had a backbone, he shouldn't snatch it. After snatching the red packet, the knitter came out again and asked what color looked good. Ning Shu, you haven't decided yet? It was the color of a ball of wool. Was it really that difficult? I have a phobia of choice. Which one do you think looks good? Ning Shu felt that these people had a lot of problems. Just buy one color when you buy it. There was no need to struggle. But I was very conflicted when I bought it. I didn't know which color to choose, so I bought so many colors. Ning Shu felt that he had eaten too much. He had so many things to worry about. Why was he chatting with the Big Shot who was bored to death? Then knit one of each color. Choose which one looks good. If he asked again, he might have to be a strong man to knit sweaters every day. Ning Shu hoped that he would be a strong man. Catch me, catch me. I can pick up garbage. I can work hard without complaint and have no regrets. However, she had not comprehended the rules and the law of space. She did not have the world to store living creatures. She was not qualified at all. She could only comprehend the law of space. After going around in circles, she still couldn't avoid the law of space. High-level rules were so difficult to comprehend. She admired the man in the Cheongsam who comprehended the law of time. Ning Shu couldn't help but want to look at the reincarnation pool again. Control, control. He took out the book on comprehending the law of space from the bookshelf. It was too abstract. Although he couldn't understand it, he felt comfortable holding it in his hand. With the guide in hand, he had the world. The space of the space city was layered, giving Ning Shu a headache. One space after another. Ning Shu, who had a poor sense of direction, was not interested in comprehending space. In this aspect, Ning Shu felt that he was suitable to be sad. He was very knowledgeable, but when it came to space geometry, he was naturally ignorant. To Ning Shu, the law of space should be one of the most difficult things to comprehend in the void. Ning Shu flipped open the book and looked at it from left to right. He didn't know how to read it. He couldn't tell front from back. Such a book cost him 100,000 merit points. He seriously suspected that the auction house was faking it. Even if it was a child's graffiti, there was still logic to it. Ning Shu sat on the ground and quickly flipped through the book. He couldn't understand it at all. He didn't even have a flash of inspiration. Ning Shu directly fell to the ground. He tried hard not to let himself be lazy and resist. Negative emotions made it easy to get bored. What was space? According to Buddhism, a flower and a leaf was a world. A sand was a world. This meant that space was not affected by size. A book, but a vast world was inside. The sand under his feet might be countless worlds. Countless worlds made up the sand. Maybe he was in a sand now and someone else was stepping on it. There was space outside the sand and space outside the space. Time and space were essential. Ning Shu seemed to be able to feel something, but he couldn't comprehend anything. He thought so much that his head was about to explode. If he knew space, he could use a grain of sand to trap people at any time. Or he could change the surrounding space and trap things. He could even use space to collapse and squeeze the space to kill enemies. He could move in an instant and create a passage. So awesome. But he didn't know how. Ning Shu was really struggling to comprehend and gave up. It was useless to resist. It was a waste of time. He didn't know how long he had been wandering around. Maybe it was time to do a mission. Or maybe he wanted to pick up trash. Ning Shu left the space city and returned to the system space. He clicked on the chat system and clicked on Senior Uncle. Ning Shu, request to pick up trash. Senior Uncle, did you comprehend the rules? Ning Shu, no. Senior Uncle, did you build a world? Ning Shu, no. Then Ning Shu found that he seemed to have been blacklisted again. He wasn't eligible to talk to him for 20 years. And he was even more ruthless. And he was only banned for half a month and would be automatically lifted. Ning Shu hammered the ground. She just wanted a star stone. Why was it so difficult? From then on, picking up trash was the highest goal in life. /BK. Chapter 2649. Ning Shu originally thought that she could rely on her enthusiasm to sneak in, but she was unfortunately blacklisted. She wanted the star stone, and without it, the consequences would be serious. Now that she was blacklisted, would she have to spend more than 100,000 merit points to get the silver-haired man to help her contact someone in the future? Ning Shu didn't dare to make a fuss anymore. What if these big shots blacklisted her? When she had the ability in the future, she would blacklist her too. Quests. 2333's alarm rang again. Ning Shu was speechless. Why was it ringing again? It kept ringing every day. 2333's presence was annoying. Very annoying. Even if Ning Shu were to turn deaf, he would still be able to hear this soul-piercing alarm. The psychological pressure was huge. 2333's voice was one of the most unpleasant sounds. It hadn't been long. Why was it ringing again? Ning Shu went straight to the restaurant in Water City to eat. He ordered a table full of dishes. The plates couldn't be stacked and were stacked on the table. Ning Shu's chopsticks were flying, stuffing food into his mouth. It tasted good, and he didn't get fat. This feeling was really good. Like a whirlwind, Ning Shu finished all the dishes on the table. She burped, feeling a little full. That feeling of wanting to eat something was finally gone. He was satisfied. After paying the bill, Ning Shu went to see Tian's auction house. The auction house was a little deserted. Since the Law City's restrictions, the Law City's business hadn't been good. Perhaps soon, the law space would no longer exist. Ning Shu strolled around the shopping hall. He didn't have anything in particular to buy, so he just walked around. He was thinking about things and wasn't in the mood to do missions. He had to entertain himself, or else he would feel terrible. Should he sing? He didn't know if the virtual space had sex. There were even casinos, so there should be sex. Sex, gambling, and drugs couldn't be touched. This kind of thing couldn't be quit. Si Tian walked over. Ning Shu cupped his hands. What does the city lord want? Ning Shu, fruit of the world tree sapling. Sitan, no. I haven't found it yet. Is there no supply? Ning Shu asked. This kind of thing is very rare, and you won't be able to find it even if you run all over the Law Cities. It's very rare in the market, and it's very precious. Losing even one will be a loss, and the side won't let anything too precious leak out. Ning Shu was speechless. Fuck, were they going to directly digest it internally? The more opportunities the higher-ups had, the stronger they would become. Those at the bottom would have fewer resources, so it would not be easy for them to become stronger. This formed the Matthew effect. The strong became stronger, the weak became weaker, the poor became poorer, and the rich became richer. Some things are too precious. If ordinary people don't pay attention to protecting them, they will suffer great losses. Si Tian explained. Ning Shu said, "Oh, then you have new goods here." Anyway, Ning Shu wanted to shop now. Since she had more than 10 million merit points, she wanted to buy something good. It all depended on his mood. Being rich meant being willful. "What does the city lord want?" Si Tian asked. "The new goods have plain fragments. Do you want them? Ordinary ones?" Ordinary ones were really trash. Si Tian raised his eyebrows. When ordinary people heard about plain fragments, they would have a big face. It was good stuff, but the city lord did not think much of it. "It's a fragment with rules and laws. Do you want it?" Ning Shu asked. Ning Shu felt that Si Tian was trying to promote slow-moving goods to him again. Ordinary people would not buy such things. The level gap was too far, and it was not practical. Ning Shu smiled and said, "Okay, what's the use of this fragment, and how do I use it?" If fragments could be used to comprehend rules, she would definitely pick up trash. Not only for the star stones, but also for the rules and laws fragments. The problem was that she could not pick up such fragments at all. The weight was simply unbearable. "You can comprehend the fragments." Ning Shu almost dug her nose. This Si Tian really thought she was a sucker. Did she really look so gullible to him? "Who told you that fragments can be used to comprehend rules? Why don't you keep such a good thing for yourself? Also, the fragments are very heavy. You can't even pick them up," Ning Shu said directly. Si Tian cupped his hands. "City Lord, to be honest, these fragments can indeed be used to comprehend rules. You can definitely pick them up. There are special tools. Don't worry." Damn, special tools. If there were such tools, would she be able to pick up trash? She only wanted to pick up trash. Then let me see. She was not interested in fragments. She was only interested in tools that could withstand the weight of the fragments. "Okay." Si Tian got someone to take out a long box from the storeroom. He opened the wooden box and took out a cane. The cane was embedded with irregular fragments. "City Lord." Si Tian passed the cane to Ning Shu. Ning Shu was expressionless. What kind of tool was this? The fragments were already welded to the cane. Could the cane pick up trash? To put it bluntly, this thing was using a small fragment of the plane to make a cane. The cane was a medium and could use a little bit of rule power. What kind of plaything was this? Ning Shu wanted to take the cane and knock Si Tian's head. She wanted to guard this cane. Once she succeeded in comprehending rules, she would kneel down and call Si Tian daddy. Coaxing and cheating. Si Tian saw that Ning Shu's expression was not good. He placed the cane in the wooden box. Since the city lord did not look at it, then look at other things. "Okay, I want it. How much is it?" "Take the cane and I will transform into a fairy and play with it." Ning Shu rolled his eyes. Si Tian said, "For million merit points." "Okay, then you can rot it in your hands. Return 4 million merit points." Si Tian, what was wrong with the city lord? In the end, Ning Shu did not ask for the cane. A cane, a tiny fragment, cost 4 million. If one went to a place where the plane had collapsed, one could get as many of these fragments as one wanted. However, the market did not sell them. Some of these fragments had to be thrown into the sea of law, and some had to be given to the monsters and insects that attacked the plane. The rarer something was, the more valuable it was. Once she heard that the rules were awesome, it sounded amazing, but it was actually useless. If she could comprehend the fragments, she would apply to pick up rubbish every day. Ning Shu strolled for a while. Si Tian also introduced many things to her, but Ning Shu did not look at any of them. She felt a little hopeless. Why were there so many problems with looking at goods now? She had money but could not spend it. Go away, you money. In the end, Ning Shu bought a small plaything. The main reason was that Si Tian had been accompanying her. She felt embarrassed not to sell anything. Before leaving, Si Tian asked, "The City Lord's hand can contain soul power and soul origin?" This guy was still thinking about her good stuff. The first time she brought the soul stone to ask for cooperation, she did not cooperate. Now there was no more. She did have it but not much, so she would not buy it. Si Tian squinted his eyes and cupped his hands. "I will definitely help the City Lord sell it at a high price. /BK. Chapter 2650. I don't have any more. This is a non-renewable resource. I don't have any more soul stones. Ning Shu directly rejected. Actually, he still had ordinary soul stones. What he lacked now was the soul source. The world of reincarnation didn't need her to provide any more. Thus, she had stored a lot of soul energy. Occasionally, she would use some for herself. But he still didn't want to buy it. With close to 20 million merit points, Ning Shu wasn't short of money now. Finally, he had some savings now, instead of being unable to make ends meet. He didn't need to sell precious things to raise money. Ning Shu thought about it. The laws of the third level of Nine Palace Mountain weren't complete. Could he bring this fragment to the third level? He didn't know if there would be any conflicts. Forget it, he would just let the heavenly Tao develop its own laws. The laws of every world were different. Although they were similar, there were still differences. If he rashly threw in another world's law fragment, it might have some effect. Then when City Lord wants to sell it, inform Si Tian. Si Tian looked disappointed. Go be disappointed. Ning Shu returned to the system space. 2333 alarm was still ringing, mixed with the sound of the chatting system. Ning Shu sat on the sofa and opened the chatting system. It was a message from His Excellency. He said that he was looking for her and wanted her to go to Little Silver's consultation room. Not long ago, she borrowed a bone from His Excellency. Thus, she still had to go. She asked where the consultation room was and His Excellency said it was in Water City. Ning Shu, who had just returned from Water City, went to Water City again. He paced around the consultation room and walked in. He felt that His Excellency shouldn't be looking for him for anything good. His Excellency was talking to the silver-haired man. When he saw Ning Shu, he said, "Put some souls in your world of reincarnation. A few worlds have been broken." Ning Shu was a little hesitant. He asked, "His Excellency, there are billions of worlds. It's not good to scatter some of them in other worlds. If each world of reincarnation is squeezed to death, the living world will be destroyed. The reincarnation world will also be destroyed. Once the living world's corresponding reincarnation world collapses, it will be affected along with the other worlds. And the world of mission enforcers." Ning Shu. It was terrifying just thinking about it. Ning Shu said again, "Then you eat it. There's so much. You eat 1 bowl per meal. How would you feel if I let you eat 10 bowls? The abyssal prefect furrowed his brows. "You're not willing." Ning Shu shook his head. "It's not that I don't want to. It's just that this world hasn't been formed for long. Moreover, if so many souls were to be placed in the world of samsara, this newly formed world of samsara wouldn't be able to support it. There's no need to place them in the world of samsara. Throw them all into the rebirth pool and let them be reborn." Ning Shu was even more horrified. Nine Palace Mountain now has 2 layers of living worlds, and the third layer is still a living world with incomplete laws. If too many living beings enter, the world will collapse. No one knew which level these souls would be reincarnated to. The second level was still all right. It was a complete world with a large territory and abundant resources. It was fine even if the population was a little higher. However, the third level was a scam. His Excellency said indifferently, "It's because the third level has fewer living beings that it needs more living beings. With enough living beings evolving the laws, the stronger ones will survive and form a complete set of laws." Ning Shu only said, "You're quite cold." Cold. These souls should have perished along with the collapse of the world of samsara. Now that there's a chance to reincarnate, I'm still cold? His Excellency looked at the silver-haired man and asked, "Is there something wrong with her brain?" Ning Shu, damn, I'm listening from the side. Ning Shu wasn't sure if His Excellency wanted to get rid of these souls or if it was really a lie. Is that so? Ning Shu asked the silver-haired man. The silver-haired man nodded. That's right. Didn't the Calamity Beast appear? With enough souls and enough soul poison, the Calamity Beast will grow faster. You can quickly destroy it. But that's not right. Even if the Calamity Beast is destroyed, the poison in my world of samsara has increased. Ning Shu asked, "What's the reason for the collapse of the world of samsara?" The world of samsara was filled with souls. What could these souls do to the world of samsara? His Excellency said, "Soul poison." When the pool of reincarnation can no longer purify the souls and collapses, that's the sign of the collapse of the entire world. Ning Shu, damn. He knew it would be like this. Her world of samsara was suffering from a poison that shouldn't exist at her age. Ning Shu sat up straight and said, "If something happens to the world of samsara, then a few worlds will have problems. I'm scared. I'm scared." "Don't be scared. I'm scared." His Excellency rubbed his forehead. "There aren't many souls in the world. You must know that the world of samsara is overloaded. My world of samsara is also overloaded. It's not like they're only reincarnating once. In the future, these souls will reincarnate again. When they die, they will come to the world of samsara and reincarnate again and again." His Excellency narrowed his eyes and looked unhappy. "Use the world of samsara on the 9th level. If it's scattered, it won't be a big burden. One could only leave the 9th level and not enter. They could only reincarnate and not let the souls enter. If the 9th level purified these souls and gave birth to evil beasts, she wouldn't even know. What should she do? She was simply balding. She couldn't lead them. She felt that these big shots were tearing down the east wall to fix the west wall. I'm in despair. What can I do? Of course, I choose to forgive. Then use the world of samsara on the 9th level. Use that deformed world of samsara. Okay. How many worlds of samsara will collapse? Ning Shu asked. For so many. Ning Shu felt that it was very difficult to store the souls of 4 worlds of samsara. It's too heavy and will collapse. His Excellency nodded. I'll think of a way to distribute the rest to the other worlds of samsara. Ning Shu opened a black hole. His Excellency followed behind Ning Shu and entered the 9th level of 9 Palace Mountain. The 9th level of 9 Palace Mountain was very desolate. Occasionally, 1 or 2 souls without consciousness would wander around. The pool of reincarnation was also very small. If the first level's pool of reincarnation was a lake, then this world was a small pool. It looked very pitiful and sad. His Excellency wanted to throw all the souls in the pearl into the pool of reincarnation. Ning Shu immediately shouted, "Wait." His Excellency looked at her expressionlessly. Ning Shu rubbed her hands and asked, "Do you have stellar stones?" His Excellency, "Yes." Often, souls would be thrown into the pool of reincarnation. "Wait a bit more." Ning Shu reached out her hand. His Excellency, "What is it now?" Ning Shu asked shyly, "Do I get any merit points?" She had gotten 20 million merit points in one go. The more merit points, the better. /BK. Chapter 2651. Abyssal Prefect. Apply with the main system. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Ning Shu felt that he was already very lucky to be able to get the star stone. "Wait a bit, one last time." Ning Shu shouted again. Abyssal Prefect looked down at him. Ning Shu asked, "How can a skeleton that can kill an evil beast be born?" Abyssal Prefect didn't say anything, which made Ning Shu think that he would turn into a giant yaksha. Then, he swallowed a few pearls and said arrogantly, "I don't need you." Abyssal Prefect said, "Find the soul with the deepest obsession and attach it to the corpse. Forcefully suppress it in the corpse until the body rots and the soul fuses with the bones." Ning Shu thought it was quite simple, but the actual operation was too complicated. "Ning Shu, How can you find the soul with the deepest obsession? Why do you have to find the soul with the deepest obsession? Abyssal Prefect. The soul with the deepest obsession will endure the pain of ossification. And sometimes, even the rebirth pool can't completely purify the soul with the deepest obsession. It will increase the burden of the rebirth pool. Ning Shu thought about Abyssal Prefect's army of bones. How many souls with the deepest obsession were born? And there were even those who failed and died. But there were so many planes. Even if one plane gave birth to one soul with the deepest obsession, there would still be billions of them. And in life, who didn't have an obsession? It depended on how deep the obsession was. For love, for money, for power, for sex, for survival. Abyssal Prefect looked down at Ning Shu. You are also a soul with the deepest obsession. You can become a skeleton. Ning Shu. Thank you. Then how do you find the soul with the deepest obsession? Ning Shu wanted to get to the bottom of it. Either a lunatic or an idiot. Ning Shu. Are you sure you're not joking? Abyssal Prefect said she was an idiot? You will feel it when you encounter it. It's hard to say exactly what it feels like. In any case, it can do something different from normal souls. Abyssal Prefect said calmly. Ning Shu's eyes turned. Pardon me for asking, but how did you find the corpse? You either stole it or dug it up. Ning Shu knelt down. In any case, you guys have the final say in this world. What's the big deal about stealing a corpse? Corpses will rot sooner or later, so I might as well recycle them. Corpse owner, thank you for thinking so highly of me. Ning Shu, you're so extravagant, planting flowers with corpses. She suddenly felt that corpses had become cute. The Abyssal Prefect nodded. That's right. Otherwise, many skeletons would have been born. However, the flowers grown from corpses are indeed different. The color and fragrance are all different. I'll give you some next time. Ning Shu wanted to cover his ears, but he refused to listen. The 2 pearls of the Abyssal Prefect were tossed into the pool of rebirth, and the pool was filled with the souls of all kinds of living beings. It was so densely packed that it looked disgusting. The tranquil rebirth pool suddenly began to ripple. Some of the souls that the rebirth pool hadn't been purified in time actually crawled out and were kicked down by the Abyssal Prefect. It doesn't matter if you want to go to the afterlife or not. Ning Shu watched from the side without making a move. The pool of rebirth is so small. The Abyssal Prefect frowned. When would it be completely purified? The number of souls in 2 worlds of reincarnation was not small. Ning Shu began to stand and watch as the Abyssal Prefect violently pushed the souls into the pool of rebirth, then squatted and sat on the ground. He didn't know how long it would take for these souls to be completely purified. 2333's alarm clock would probably start ringing again. He felt that there wasn't enough time at all. Longevity was boring, but Ning Shu didn't know where the time had gone. 2333 said that he wasn't spending much time. The souls in the pool of rebirth struggled and cried. They wanted to see their loved ones, or they regretted that they hadn't used up all their money. There were also some who shouted, "Do you know who I am? Do you know who my father is?" But the Abyssal Prefect didn't care about these people's sadness, annoyance, or even arrogance. Perhaps the pool of rebirth was too small and the purification speed was too slow. Ning Shu tried to find a topic to chat with the Abyssal Prefect. He even said that he wanted to visit the Abyssal Prefect's world of reincarnation. He wanted to visit the Abyssal Prefect. The Abyssal Prefect just said, "Sure, I'll take you to my place to see the flowers I planted." Ning Shu was speechless. It was full of rotting flesh and white bones. When the skulls were piled up, it was as if one was practicing the 9-yin white bone claw. What was there to see? Ning Shu felt that there was something wrong with the Abyssal Prefect's taste. After these souls were completely purified, Ning Shu and the Abyssal Prefect left the 9-Palace Mountain and returned to the consultation room. The silver-haired man was flipping through a book. Seeing the 2 of them come out, he closed the book. Ning Shu coughed and said, "Can you give me the star stones? I need them urgently." The Abyssal Prefect reached into the black carved door, took out a few gray stones, and threw them to Ning Shu. Ning Shu hurriedly caught it. She looked at the star stone and said, This star stone seems to be different from the star stone I remember. Do you know that the star stones of the living world are different from the world of reincarnation? The dim world of reincarnation is inlaid with shiny star stones. Is it harmonious? Ning Shu was speechless. Fine, whatever you say. This can contain the law of nothingness, right? Ning Shu asked. The abyssal prefect's pale finger tapped on the table. You still haven't solved this thing? Do you think I have the ability to solve it in this state? If I can solve it, I will solve it quickly. Looking at the law of nothingness in this world, I am so worried. Can you give me a few more star stones? Ning Shu asked. There is no more, these are all useful. The abyssal prefect rejected directly. Then how do you suppress the souls in the corpses? Ning Shu asked. How can I tell you for free? These things are summed up after countless failures. What can I use to exchange for them? The abyssal prefect said. Do you know what is the most valuable thing? Ning Shu probed. Talent. The abyssal prefect said, You are indeed a talent. Ning Shu curled his lips. This was sarcasm. The abyssal prefect said, I won't tell you now. I will tell you when you can take out something of equal value. Ning Shu quickly thought about what was more valuable. Even if he gave up his body, there was nothing valuable. It seemed that he wouldn't be able to get it for now. Ning Shu felt that it wasn't that the abyssal prefect couldn't solve the problem of the souls in a few worlds. It was just that he happened to have a place that could make the abyssal prefect less annoyed, so he stuffed it here. She didn't have to have it. And he needed the abyssal prefect's help. It was mutually beneficial. Ning Shu took a few gray star stones. The road ahead is long, I will search for it. The abyssal prefect left through the carved gate. Ning Shu also returned to the system space. 2333 alarm started a new round of noise. It felt like it was always ringing. Ning Shu entered the ultimate martial arts place and threw a few gray star stones into the law of nothingness. The law of nothingness occasionally bubbled and stopped boiling. The energy of the orange crystals had been used up. /BK. Chapter 2652. Ning Shu wanted to punch the ground and cry. How was she going to settle the law of nothingness? The heat of the orange crystal could melt her soul. Even such a terrifying heat couldn't settle the law of nothingness. She had believed in 2333 back then and actually jumped into the law of nothingness. It was also because the law of nothingness wasn't strong at that time. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a mission enforcer called Ning Shu. 2333 was simply a sinkhole. Ning Shu felt that if she jumped in now, she would be annihilated instantly and disappear forever. The world was slowly being repaired. The cracks were getting fewer and fewer, but the law of nothingness was still a big problem. She hadn't built a living world. There was no suitable carrier. Ning Shu felt that she had been busy for a while, but in fact, she was still in the same place. There was no progress. Maybe she was accumulating, but there was no change. The gray star stone was thrown into the law of nothingness. There was no reaction. Ning Shu even suspected that it was a fake star stone. It was time to do missions. There were endless things to do every day. Ning Shu returned to the system space and asked the main system for merit. The main system directly replied, It's not in the merit record. Ning Shu, what do you mean? The main system, there's no merit. Ning Shu, it felt like it wasn't a matter of the same system. It was a matter of the world of reincarnation. She probably wouldn't be able to get merit from the main system. Damn, His Excellency was being picky with her. He said maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. Obviously there wasn't. Ning Shu clicked on His Excellency. Boss, where's the merit? His Excellency, I'll give you a flower. There's no merit. Ning Shu, why would I want your flower? Is your Xiaohuahua very valuable? His Excellency, it's a flower I personally raised. It's hard to find one outside. Ning Shu's face was cold. You're being stingy with this little merit? I won't let you release souls next time. His Excellency, finances are tight. I have so many bones to raise. Bones eat merit. Don't ask me for merit. I don't have it. Ning Shu. These bosses were all stingy. Ning Shu was a little scared. If he were to build an army of bones in the future, wouldn't he have to split a lump of gold into two halves? Poverty was not a condition. Poverty was the norm. Even though he now had more than 10 million merit points, Ning Shu suddenly felt that he was so poor that he didn't have the slightest bit of money. Compared to 100,000, 1 yuan and 10 yuan were considered poor. Was he really going to sell his soul energy? Yes, the skeleton army hasn't been built yet, and I'm worried about money. The higher he climbed, the more bitter he felt. In the past, he was afraid that he would be obliterated. But now that there was no longer the threat of being obliterated, he still had to keep running. He had to nurture his own people. Otherwise, if he had to do everything himself, it would be too damn tiring. Just like the world of reincarnation, it needed someone to guard it at all times to prevent any problems from happening. But where was he going to find her at this time? He couldn't find anyone to cooperate with either. He could only take it slow. Ning Shu planned her future in her mind, and then carried it out one by one step at a time. First, he set a small goal, which was to comprehend the spatial laws. Then, the next goal was to comprehend the laws. Then, he could go pick up trash, get star stones, and hold on to the law of nothingness. He had to persevere until he could solve the law of nothingness. He had to buy time. Now, it was time to do missions. Before doing missions, he had to peek at what was being discussed in the big boss group. Looking at the chat discipline, Ning Shu found that these big bosses were quite idle, and they were talking about some down-to-earth things. It wasn't high-end at all. Ning Shu didn't even have a chance to peek at any secrets. Didn't these big bosses do missions? Ning Shu was a little tired looking at these records, very tired. 2333's voice kept echoing in the system space. Ning Shu simply went to the city of wood to sleep before doing missions. With his current mental state, he didn't have the energy to do missions. He had to do missions in his best soul state, and the process of soul teleportation would also be tiring. If it was a complicated mission, his brain wasn't sharp enough and he was likely to fail. Ning Shu lay on the chaise lounge, feeling the comfortable atmosphere of the city of wood. Ning Shu didn't sleep well this time. He had all kinds of strange dreams, and when he woke up, his soul felt heavy. Ning Shu suspected that his soul had been contaminated. It wasn't that absorbing pure soul energy meant that the soul wouldn't be contaminated, but wherever the soul went, the place it was in, it would more or less contaminate the soul. Moreover, doing missions would contaminate the soul, and there would be a very small amount of soul energy left in the entrusted person's body, and this kind of soul energy was impure. Over time, it would also be contaminated. Ning Shu had dug up a lot of soul stone mines, and came into contact with impure soul fluid at the bottom of Nine Palace Mountain. Coupled with his recent encounter with the disaster beast, he might have been contaminated by the disaster beast. Ning Shu got up from the chaise lounge, returned to the system space, and had the system scan his soul to see if it was contaminated. System scan results: 10% of soul is mixed with unknown substances, recommended to deprive all soul energy to avoid contaminating the soul origin. Sure enough, it was contaminated. There was no such thing as absolute purity in the world, it was just the amount. After depriving all soul energy and sending it to the main system for purification, half of his soul energy was gone. Ouch, fuck. He lost half of his soul energy for no reason. Ning Shu couldn't help but suck it in. Deprive my soul energy. Fortunately, he had saved a lot. Otherwise, losing half of his soul energy would make his soul very weak. Yes, requesting to deprive soul energy. As soon as the mechanical voice finished, a round metallic door appeared in the system space. Ning Shu walked in, holding the wall with his hand. Before he was mentally prepared, he felt a sharp pain, as if he was being sliced 3,000 times. He could feel the knife cutting through his flesh. It was so fucking painful. Why didn't they mention it, or at least put up a sign so that he could be mentally prepared? Ning Shu couldn't stand straight and directly fell to the ground, his soul energy evaporating from his body like mist. In the end, his soul was almost transparent to the point where it couldn't be seen. In the world of reincarnation, any soul was tougher than him. Ning Shu crawled out. It was too painful. He couldn't pollute his soul in the future, Otherwise it would hurt and he would lose his soul energy. The water droplets between his eyebrows and the tender buds between his thumb and forefinger were almost invisible. Ning Shu hurriedly found the pure soul energy. This soul energy was purified by soul fluid and ordinary soul stones. Only from the birth of the reincarnation pool, the world of reincarnation didn't need it, so Ning Shu kept it. He even wanted to sell it in the future, so he used it all. Ning Shu absorbed the soul energy, and his soul slowly became stronger. Warning: the number of times of depriving soul energy cannot exceed 5. If it is too many, it will cause the soul to collapse. /BK. Chapter 2653. Although her soul had become strong, she still felt very painful, very painful. People's emotions, desires, and obsessions would affect their body and soul. Otherwise, there would be so many toxins in the soul. The main reason was that she had been in contact with too many impure things. She had dug up all the soul stones in the first level of the world, and the soul stones in those soul stones were not pure. And soul fluid. She had been in contact with negative emotions when doing tasks. Toxins caused by her own emotions. Ning Shu was a little worried. Was she the only one who had been deprived of the soul power? Ning Shu opened the Big Bosses group and asked them if they had been deprived of the soul power. Basically, they had been deprived of the soul power. Some had been deprived of the soul power 8 times. 8 times. Didn't they say that the soul would collapse after 5 times? He didn't expect that it could be done 8 times. How strong was the soul? Seeing that everyone was tormenting the soul, Ning Shu was relieved. He was afraid that he would be tormenting the soul alone. In the future, he would try to avoid contact with things that polluted the soul. It was too painful to deprive the soul power. Did that mean that he would have to go to the world of samsara less in the future? But he would be very worried if he didn't check it out. It was time to do tasks. Ning Shu opened the exchange store and exchanged some fasting pills. He was ready to do tasks. There was no fasting pill in Tao Jing's story. She was as hungry as a fool. Ning Shu said to the system, "Do tasks." Ning Shu was transmitted to the task. He felt that it was very difficult to integrate into a body. It was like integrating into a piece of wood. Ning Shu spent a lot of effort to integrate into the body. Did she integrate into something strange? Or did the system make a mistake? After fusing with it, Ning Shu heard some muttering in her ears, and an inexplicable force fused with her body. Augustine saw the green flame in the skeleton's eye sockets lit up and finally felt relieved. "Vicky, you woke up? Your flame suddenly went out. I was so scared." Ning Shu saw a golden-haired, blue-eyed baby-faced man. His hair was curly and his eyes were so clear that they reflected light, like the sparkling sea. Pure and beautiful. Ning Shu's mind had an effect on this person. There was only one word in his mind: master. He was her master. Master felt inexplicably ashamed. Ning Shu got up and sadly found that he had become a skeleton. Skeleton, how despairing. Why have I been dealing with skeletons recently? What kind of world was this? Ning Shu had never thought that he would become a skeleton. The golden-haired, blue-eyed little brother was still saying, "How did your soul flame go out?" "Ning Shu, I don't know." "Vicky, are you in danger?" Ning Shu shook his head, his neck cracking. "Then you should rest. I still have some things to do." Augustine left. Ning Shu looked at the bones in his hand. There was no flesh on the bones at all. They were really clean bones. He tried to curl his joints, but they were stiff. Without the lubrication of muscles and fluids, it was the friction between bones, very stiff. Ning Shu began to accept the plot, the blue soul flame in his eyes jumping. This was a magic continent. There were mages who cultivated magic. Mages had metal, wood, water, fire, earth, ice, time, space, and undead. Mages had noble identities. Some people who couldn't cultivate magic chose to cultivate chi and become warriors. They could even become dragon knights. There were also alchemists. Alchemists could make weapons and staffs of various attributes. There were also pharmacists who could make life-saving and killing potions. There were also necromancers who could summon undead to fight. The continent was rich in species. To be precise, there were many intelligent species. There were beautiful and arrogant elves, ugly dwarves who were good at forging, strong and greedy dragons, orcs with the ability to go berserk, and powerful magic beasts. There were also gods. This kind of god had reached the highest level of cultivation through cultivation. They were called gods. War god, mage god, beast god. In short, it was a beautiful and dangerous world. As for the person who commissioned it, it was just a skeleton. It was a little different from other skeletons, because it had a soul. Generally speaking, the skeleton summoned by necromancers was actually a kind of power attached to the skeleton. The skeleton itself didn't have a soul. Necromancers would use this power to control the skeleton to fight. Without the necromancer's magic, the skeleton had no power. The person who commissioned it was a failure. Every necromancer's life goal was to summon an army of countless skeletons from the undead kingdom. But it seemed that no one had succeeded. That blonde-haired, blue-eyed little brother was a necromancer. Just by looking at his temperament, no one would think that he was a necromancer. Necromancers gave people a feeling of gloominess. They wore black cloaks and had hoarse voices. No one knew if the body under the cloak was a human or a skeleton. Necromancers were a rather unpopular existence. They played with the bodies of the dead and even used them to fight. It was disgusting and there were too many dead people. Not only human bodies, but also animal skeletons could be used to fight. Tomb robbers were abominable. Augustine also wanted to summon undead from the undead kingdom, but he didn't succeed. Instead, the soul of the person who commissioned it was attached to this skeleton. The soul of the person who commissioned it wasn't summoned from the world of reincarnation. It was a wandering soul in this world. It had a wonderful accident and had a body, but it was a skeleton. From then on, the person who commissioned it stayed by Augustine's side and took care of everything about Augustine, including washing clothes and cooking. She even helped to hand over materials when he was doing experiments. After Augustine was discovered to have the talent to become a necromancer, he had been living a wandering life. He was an alchemist. Sometimes, he would have to run around for a material. He was facing the annihilation of the empire at all times. Every time he appeared in a place, he would cause panic. He also brought the person who commissioned it. Although the person who commissioned it was wearing a cloak, it was very tight. It was always discovered that he was a necromancer. Sometimes, in order to survive, Augustine had to summon the skeletons buried under the ground to fight when he was surrounded. Of course, this made people hate him even more. The empire thought that he was very threatening. Some necromancers were very extreme. For their army of 10,000, they could kill many people. They even ran to the grave of a giant dragon and stole its corpse. Necromancers were considered the most disgusting people. They played with the bodies of the dead. Even the people who had just died could be controlled by necromancers. This kind of feeling was hatred and jealousy. It was too evil. And evil was destined to be destroyed. /BK. Chapter 2654. Augustine had actually refined a staff that could instantly summon skeletons without chanting an incantation. This staff made necromancers go crazy. At the same time, it also made the empire uneasy. Necromancers were a group of people who ignored the rules. If they had this staff, wouldn't they be able to summon skeletons anytime and anywhere to attack cities? Necromancers were disgusting creatures that people wanted to recruit, especially those who liked to play with corpses. But if they were left alone, it would eventually become a disaster. Some countries used necromancers in war. Thus, each country made an agreement that they could not use necromancers in war. This agreement was a contract. If it was violated, they would be punished. Metal, wood, water, fire, earth, these kinds of conventional magicians could attack the battlefield, but necromancers could not. Necromancers became a group of people who were more extreme and marginalized. But necromancers did not tire of ruining their own reputation. They were not afraid. If a family had a necromancer, they would be mocked. If they were found to have the talent to become a necromancer, they would be killed in minutes. Augustine was originally a member of the empire's Rose family. After he was found to be able to practice necromancy, he was supposed to be killed by his father. But his mother was soft-hearted and sent him away. They found a corpse and said that he had died suddenly. They even held a funeral. From then on, Augustine was no longer a member of the Rose family. He was an orphan. After having a client, the man and the skeleton depended on each other and lived in a remote place. Compared to necromancers, Augustine was more like an alchemist. He was more talented in making staffs and weapons of various attributes. It was a pity that he had the talent to become a necromancer. Otherwise, he would be an outstanding alchemist. Augustine was not as extreme as other necromancers who felt abandoned and discriminated against. He wanted to prove himself and prove that necromancers were the best. Let the light of the undead shine in every corner of the world and let people worship the undead. Then, they would do something even crazier in a matter of minutes, and be hated even more. Augustine was obsessed with alchemy. Maybe it was because of alchemy that Augustine was purer than other necromancers. He was even purer than ordinary people. How could people who did scientific research be complicated and have the mind to scheme? The necromancers saw hope when necromancers saw the appearance of the staff. Such a powerful item would definitely restore the necromancer's glory. Although necromancers never had any glory, they had never thought that they would be in such a difficult situation. Thus, the necromancer wanted to kill Augustine and steal the undead magic staff. Whoever had the undead magic staff would have supreme undead power. The country put Augustine on the wanted list and even sent out dragon knights to kill him. If the magic staff was really taken away by a necromancer, it would be a disaster. In short, although it was a good staff, it had been described as a bone staff that could destroy the world. This was a murder caused by a staff. Augustine died under the pincer attack of several parties, and the soul flame of the person who entrusted Augustine to him was extinguished in the battle. As for the client's wish, it was to protect his master. Yep, if Augustine hadn't created an undead scepter, then he wouldn't have died. What was the point of creating an undead scepter? Could it be that he wanted to kill a bunch of people? Ning Shu touched the top of his head, feeling as if he was bald. He thought of the time when he was in the ward. At that time, his head was really bald. Ning Shu got up slowly from the ground and got into a huge tree. This tree was already withered, but the space inside was very large and could shelter him from the wind and rain. There were all kinds of materials inside. Augustine, with his naturally curly blonde hair, was carrying out a devil experiment. All kinds of strange potions were gurgling like a witch. Augustine saw Ning Shu. "You can get up already?" Ning Shu's jaw opened and closed, wanting to speak, but the skeleton had no vocal cords, so he couldn't make a sound. What was going on? Obviously, the world of Samsara and Li Si could make a sound, but why couldn't she? Ning Shu could only nod, the blue flame in his eye sockets jumping. Ning Shu still wanted to ask him if he wanted to make the undead scepter. It would not be good if he did not make it. Maybe the undead scepter was born by accident. Ning Shu picked up a goose feather pen, but his joints were stiff, so it was difficult to write. The words he wrote were not clear. "What do you want to make?" Ning Shu learned to write from Augustine. When Ning Shu wrote, it was as ugly and difficult to read as a chicken scratch. Augustine also tilted his head and looked for a long time before he could read it. "I don't know what to make, so I'll just make it casually." Ning Shu looked at all kinds of weapons and failed products in the corner. Ning Shu felt so sad that he couldn't stop the inventor. Augustine had a baby face. At first glance, he looked very young, but in fact, he was almost 30 years old. In this world where cultivation could increase one's life, Augustine was not old. The life of an ordinary person was 100 years old. "Vicky, I'm so hungry." Augustine raised his head with a baby face, waiting for Ning Shu to feed him. Oh my, Ning Shushin's motherly instincts were triggered. However, skeletons didn't cook. "Forget it, I'll find fruit myself. Don't run around." Augustine put down the materials in his hand and put on a black cloak to cover his body and face. At first glance, he looked like a necromancer. Ning Shu followed him, worried that he would get lost in the forest. A technological geek couldn't take care of himself at all. Even if he went out to find fruit to eat, he definitely wouldn't be able to find it. Skeletons were naturally not as agile as flesh, and they didn't have muscles to slow down. With every step, Ning Shu felt his head shake twice. Augustine saw that Ning Shu was following him. "Vicky, go back, I'll be back soon." "Ning Shu, I'm afraid you won't be able to come back." Ning Shu saw a furry rabbit in the grass, so she pointed at it and asked. Seeing the fat rabbit drooling, Augustine shook his head and said, "I can't catch it." "Ning Shu, no matter how strong you are, you're still stronger than a skeleton like me. Don't forget that you're a mage." Well, necromancers were weak. They could only summon the undead, and they had to ensure that they were still alive before summoning the undead. Therefore, necromancers generally liked to parade around with a large group of skeletons, never leaving their skeletons for half a step. One could imagine how tempting the undead staff made by Augustine was to necromancers. /BK. Chapter 2655. There was no need to wait, being able to summon undead immediately. This was the dream of necromancers. Other than necromancers, other mages were not as strong as fighters and needed time to chant spells. It was only suitable for big moves and long-range attacks. Once a mage got close, they would face death. A mage's AoE attack was very effective, but it was not enough to fight alone. Besides, mages still needed to be protected in a group. So the weak Augustine could only look at the rabbit and sigh. Even if he summoned the skeleton that was buried under the ground, with the skeleton's mobility, the probability of catching the agile rabbit was quite low. He could not summon a mountain of skeletons to catch a rabbit. Ning Shu was also speechless. All kinds of magic could be used in this world, but he did not know if rules could be used. Ning Shu wanted to use the vines, but he could not. The vines could not stretch out. "Use water." Ning Shu pointed at the rabbit. The rabbit was wrapped in a water enchantment and kept struggling. He could use the rules of water, but the suppression was quite strong. It was the heavenly Tao that limited the power. But some powerful fire magic spells could burn down a city. Augustine saw the rabbit float directly in front of him and turned to look at Ning Shu. "Vicky, your spiritual power is so strong." Mages needed strong spiritual power to capture the magic particles in the air and accurately pick out the elements they needed to fuse them into the body. Ning Shu nodded, the flame of the soul jumping. She had just fought the big skeleton in the last world and extinguished the flame of life. Now she was a skeleton. This feeling was really terrible. She could not even speak. It would be good to be a skeleton that could speak. Augustine caught the rabbit, but it was difficult to kill it. He found a drug made of some unknown substance and fed it to the rabbit. Then, with a whoosh, the rabbit's entire body caught on fire. It was a black ball and there was a burning smell. Ning Shu was speechless. Augustine scratched little curly hair. "I think it should be edible now." He took out a knife and a plate, and even wrapped a napkin around his neck like he was enjoying a big meal. He used a fork to hold down the black rabbit and used a knife to cut it. The rabbit's meat was still dripping with snow and there was hair on the surface. "Don't you know that you still need to shed your skin?" Augustine put down his knife and fork. "I'd better go look for some fruits." Ning Shu stretched out his hand and used the table knife to skin the rabbit. Then the stick jumped up. "I know how to do this." Augustine took the stick and roasted it in front of a lamp that seemed to be lit by magic beast oil. Ning Shu was speechless. It was really painful not being able to speak. Ning Shu felt that it wasn't her eyes that had a problem, but Augustine was an idiot to roast a rabbit with a flame the size of a finger. He was fucking retarded. It really wasn't easy to live to this age. He had been wandering around since he was 10 years old. Did he not have any life skills at all? It was really hard for the client to take care of him in all aspects. Ning Shu wanted to sigh. He left the tree hole and went outside to gather some firewood. After lighting it, he took the stick from Augustine's hand and roasted the rabbit. Augustine sat beside Ning Shu. "You're amazing." "No, you're even more amazing. You can casually stir up something that's so powerful." "Vicky, it's so good to have you. Your soul flame was extinguished. Do you know how scared I was?" Augustine said with lingering fear. At the same time, his stomach was growling with hunger. Ning Shu turned the rabbit over. The rabbit meat began to sizzle with oil and was fragrant. Augustine dug out a large grain of salt and smeared it on the rabbit with a brush. With the taste of salt, the freshness of the meat was stimulated and it was even more fragrant. But Ning Shu couldn't smell it, taste it, or smell it. As for hearing, that was what the soul heard. Augustine held a fork and knife. There was an empty plate in front of him, looking like he was waiting for a big meal. When it was cooked, Ning Shu put the whole rabbit on the plate in front of him. Ning Shu was a little afraid that this fragrance would attract some fierce beasts or magic beasts. Augustine wasn't worried at all. He cut the rabbit meat and said happily, "Vicky, this rabbit meat is so delicious. If only you could eat it." "Vicky, Vicky." Ning Shu's ears kept circling around Vicky, Vicky. Augustine didn't know whether the client was a man or a woman. He called her Vicky because the skeleton belonged to a woman. Augustine called her Vicky. What if it was a man? Ning Shu's mind was constantly diverging. Ning Shu opened his mouth to speak, but no sound came out. It was the sound of his jaw opening and closing. Ning Shu took a quill and wrote, "I'm going to find fruit." Augustine shook his head. "Don't go. I'm full from eating rabbit meat. There are dragons in this mountain range. You may meet a dragon slayer who will kill you then." It was probably because the extinguishing of his soul flame made Augustine scared. "It's safer for you to stay with me." Ning Shu felt that it was not safe to stay with him at all. There could be an explosion at any time, and he didn't know when he would make the undead staff. In fact, this undead staff could instantly summon skeletons to one side. Ning Shu guessed that it might also be mixed with spatial power, because the skeletons teleported to the necromancer's side. With this staff, the necromancer didn't need to bring skeletons with him. He could even swagger and live under the sun. Ning Shu nodded. Then he wouldn't go. After eating half of the rabbit, Augustine began to refine things again. In short, flames shot out and crackled. The tree hole was so cramped that there was no place to stand. Ning Shu bent down to tidy up these messy things. If nothing unexpected happened, one man and one skeleton would live like this. Ning Shu watched him toss and turn. Augustine, who was working, had a serious look on his face. At night, Ning Shu heated up the half of the rabbit he hadn't finished and let him eat it. He also tidied up the simple bed while he was at it. After eating, Augustine lay on the bed and said to Ning Shu, who was standing at the side, "Vicky, I want to sell weapons tomorrow and buy some daily necessities." The weapons Augustine was talking about were the ones he had refined and placed in the corner. As for whether they were good or not, Augustine had no idea. But the weapons he took out to buy could usually be sold for dozens of gold coins. It didn't sound like much, but it was gold coins. A one-star magic beast's magic crystal was only a few silver coins. But this money was used to buy materials, metals, and bones of magic beasts. As for the undead staff Augustine had refined, he was still confused about being hunted down. Wasn't it just a staff? Why were there so many people looking for him and wanting to kill him? He didn't know how good his alchemy skills were. Invisible pretentiousness was the most fatal. /BK. Chapter 2656. If Augustine didn't have talent as a necromancer, he would probably be a respected master alchemist by now. Or a noble son of a big family. Augustine fell asleep as he spoke. Ning Shu was a skeleton and didn't feel sleepy, and he couldn't cultivate. With nothing to do, he walked in the dark forest in search of some fruit in the tree hole. Of course, it was also to familiarize himself with the terrain. There were strange birds in the forest, dragging out their strange cries like weeping and complaining. It was quite creepy. The nocturnal beasts also came out. Ning Shu didn't find any fruit and immediately went back, in case the beasts took the sleeping Augustine away. Augustine was said to be a mage, but he was actually a weak technological geek. He let Augustine sell his weapons to buy fruits. 1 gold coin could buy a lot of fruits. Were there really dragons in this mountain range? Ning Shu was quite good. Was this dragon a 5-clawed divine dragon or a lizard-like dragon? It was most likely a lizard-like dragon. She clearly had the skill to communicate with intelligent creatures, so why couldn't she communicate with Augustine? No creature was more intelligent than human beings. How did she communicate with intelligent creatures? Well, with her consciousness. Ning Shu tried to communicate with Augustine with his consciousness. The sleeping Augustine didn't feel anything at all. Ning Shu, communication failed? In the morning, Ning Shu used his consciousness to wake Augustine up. Augustine woke up, rubbed his eyes, looked around and asked, "Vicky, did you hear anything? I heard someone calling me." Is it a fairy or a flower fairy? There were elves, so a flower fairy was nothing. Yes, my little fairy. Augustine, it's me, I'm Vicky, I'm talking to you with my consciousness. Augustine hurriedly got up from the bed, looked at Ning Shu, and immediately hugged the skeleton. Vicky, great, you can actually talk. Put him down, the bones were falling apart. I'm going to town today, wait for me at home, Augustine said, and then picked a staff or a weapon to sell in the garbage. Ning Shu said, don't you need me to protect you? This young man was easily tricked, and if he encountered a gang fight he would definitely be killed. He didn't have much fighting power. Augustine shook his head. Don't worry, I have something to protect myself. You're a skeleton, you have to wear a cape. People will think you're a necromancer. Ning Shu won't be mistaken for a necromancer just because he's young? No one would have thought that the adorable blonde curly hair was a necromancer. After all, necromancers had a sinister aura and liked to dress up in a unique manner. Augustine was a young man with a tender face, and was a favorite of the ladies. Vicky's eyes thus Augustine chose a saber, which should be a warrior's saber. After all, no magician would carry a large saber on his back. Vicky, I'm leaving. You have to be careful at home. If you can't take it anymore, bury yourself in the ground. I'll be back soon. Augustine changed into a slightly cleaner set of clothes. Ning Shu smiled. He revealed his canine teeth and dimples. What do you need? I'll bring it for you, Augustine asked. Ning Shu shook his head. She didn't need anything. She didn't eat or drink. In the previous world, she had starved to the point of stupidity. In this world, she didn't even need to eat, but it consumed her soul energy. When this extinguished, the skeleton would die. Ning Shu felt that she had to complete the mission quickly. Otherwise, it would consume her soul energy. Vicky, will you keep talking? Ning Shu shook his head. She could communicate, but the person who asked her couldn't. Augustine was quite disappointed that she didn't talk when she could. After a while, she recovered and walked energetically to the nearest town. Near the mountains, the town was very prosperous. There were many mercenaries in the town, and these mercenaries killed magic beasts in the mountains. It was said that there was a giant dragon, and it attracted a large number of dragon slayers. Ning Shu waited in the tree hole for Augustine to come back. She was really bored and cleaned up the tree hole. Roar! A penetrating roar spread far and wide. Ning Shu stood up from the ground. This roar couldn't be from a giant dragon, right? Could it be that a dragon slayer had found a giant dragon and wanted to slay it? Ning Shu felt that these dragon slayers were real warriors. If they wanted to slay a dragon, they had to see their own ability. Ning Shu didn't care. She was a skeleton. If she ran over to join in the fun, the giant dragon would trample her to death. The dragon slayer would also kill her. She would only go over foolishly. She still waited obediently for Augustine to come back. Ning Shu thought it was quite good, but it seemed that the giant dragon was coming this way. Its huge wings flapped, and its body was fiery red. The dragon's saliva in its mouth dripped onto the ground and corroded it. There were many people chasing after the giant dragon. Ning Shu began to dig a hole and then quickly buried herself. Ning Shu felt a little bitter. The ground was shaking like an earthquake around the tree hole. The giant dragon's roar was harsh, mixed with the voices of people. Was she going to move again? And the tree hole was discovered. This place couldn't be lived in anymore. Ning Shu was still digging. She didn't expect the bones to be so sharp. Digging a hole was quite easy. She dug deep and then lay down. I'm just a skeleton. The battle outside was still going on. Ning Shu used her spiritual force to scan. She found that this team was quite powerful. They were not ordinary mercenaries because their clothes were very exquisite. There were warriors and mages in the team. The mages even had staffs in their hands. The purpose of the staff was to enhance the attack, such as a 50% increase. They looked quite young. They were well-dressed and beautiful. At first glance, it was obvious that they were from the city. Boom! The trunk of the tree hole was broken in the middle. With a creak, it fell to the ground. Ning Shu, she was so unlucky. When Augustine came back and saw that his nest had been destroyed, he would definitely be furious. Could they fight further away? If she was a person now, she would kick the giant dragon and these people away. But she couldn't. These people were probably a team of knights from a big family or a divine sect. They had a lot of equipment. Some of them even caused damage to the giant dragon. The giant dragon was in pain. It shook its head, its tail swayed, and its mouth spat out magma. She hoped that the battle would end soon. Otherwise, Augustine would come back. Ning Shu released all her spiritual force and kicked the giant dragon, sending it flying far away. Everyone, why did it suddenly run away? The group of people looked at each other and hurriedly chased after the giant dragon. Ah, my house! As soon as Augustine came back and saw the tree break in the middle, he immediately covered his head and cried out. Everyone was a little embarrassed, but the giant dragon had run far away. They all chased after the giant dragon. They would talk about it after killing the giant dragon. /BK. Chapter 2657. These people were not determined to kill the dragon, but to capture it alive and tame it to sign a contract to become a dragon knight. Or to become a magician's guardian. Some dragons were willing to take the initiative to sign a contract with humans, but not all of them were willing. At this time, it was necessary to use violence to make the dragon submit. Dragon Knight, what a cool name. Augustine saw that his house was gone and was very worried about Ning Shu. Vicky, are you there? Vicky, did those people extinguish the flame of the soul? Vicky, Ning Shu, I'm here. Augustine came in with a big bag of things. Seeing that the soil on the ground was loose, he quickly put down the things and was about to dig up the soil. Don't dig, they'll come back later, Ning Shu said. Let me stay in the soil quietly for a while. If those people find me, they'll know that you're a necromancer and will kill you. Augustine looked up at the broken tree trunk. It used to be dark, but now the room was bright and he could see the blue sky and white clouds when he looked up. How could he shelter himself from the rain? Vicky, we're moving again, where are we going? Augustine asked in disappointment. If those people really capture the dragon, we can go to the dragon's cave. The dragon's aura makes other magical beasts and wild beasts not dare to come close. Moreover, Ning Shu knew that dragons liked shiny things, such as gems and gold. Furthermore, if they slept on these shiny things, their skin would be thick and they wouldn't feel uncomfortable at all. If those people did not care about these things and did not take them, they might be able to make a small fortune. Killing dragons every day and coming here really? Augustine complained. Then he became happy again. I bought the bones, magic crystals, and powder of the wind-chasing beast today. I can add them later. I haven't tried using wind-chasing beast bone powder yet. But it's too expensive. I spent all my money and didn't buy anything to eat. What should I do? Ning Shu, I don't eat anyway. I only care about buying materials. Now there's nothing to eat, you'll starve to death. Ning Shu asked, are wind-chasing beasts very fast? The wind-chasing beast's innate skill is space. They can disappear and reappear very quickly. Augustine became excited when he talked about these things. This kind of magic beast is very difficult to track down, so a little bit of bone powder is worth dozens of gold coins. The more powerful it is, the more precious it is. Ning Shu was indifferent. Could this be the reason why the undead magic staff had spatial abilities? Ning Shu really wanted to stop Augustine from making this kind of thing, but Augustine actually didn't know what he wanted to do. Even if it wasn't a staff, it could be a weapon of some other shape. In any case, its only function was to instantly summon skeletons. Its appearance wasn't important. Therefore, Augustine would definitely come up with something like this. Ning Shu was balding. He felt that the ground was shaking slightly. Those people were probably still fighting with the giant dragon. Augustine, I saw people from your rose family in that group. There was a vivid rose embroidered on her shoulder. Every clan's emblem was different. There were irises, roses. Although it was a flower, it represented glory and nobility. Only people from that clan were qualified to be embroidered with the clan's glory. Augustine said, I'm no longer a member of the Rose family. It has nothing to do with me. Ning Shu, are you sad? No, at first I was very sad, but now I'm not sad. My mother is very good to me. She was willing to go against my father and let me live, Augustine said. When the time comes, don't acknowledge the Rose family, Ning Shu said. I know. Are you bored underground? Do you want to come out? I don't want to come out. They'll come later. Then I'll help you with the soil. Augustine said as he stepped on the soil and compacted it. Ning Shu. Vicky, I'm so hungry. What should I do? Ning Shu, you didn't buy food when you went to town? I forgot. I went to the material store and bought magic crystals. I bought the magic crystals and bone powder of the wind-chasing beasts. I used up all my money. Ning Shu. Those people should have food and money. Ask for more compensation, Ning Shu said. That's not good, right? Augustine said hesitantly. What's not good about it? Ning Shu said matter-of-factly. You broke my things, you have to pay. If you don't pay, I won't let you go. Okay. Augustine was tired and hungry. He rubbed his stomach and said, Vicky, I want to eat roasted rabbit. There was no rabbit poop now. Augustine asked again, do you think they'll come back? What if they don't? If they come back, how should I ask for compensation? What if the Rose family recognizes me? Who's the Rose family? Forget it. They'd better not come. If they don't recognize me, the Rose family will be laughed at. Vicky, do you think? Ning Shu, shut up. Are you really hungry? One of them was a chatterbox who couldn't say a single word. They lived together in harmony. Was it love or family? They waited until it was dark, but those people didn't come back. Augustine looked up at the sky. The stars were beautiful. He could see them when he was sleeping, but it was miserable when it rained. Vicky, you'd better come out. I don't think they'll come back. I'm starving. Ning Shu, wait. They're coming. Soon, there was rustling and the sound of talking. There was also the smell of blood. A dozen people stood at the entrance of the tree hole and asked, Is anyone here? The lights were on inside. Someone should be here. Augustine, Vicky, what do I do? I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. Ning Shu was expressionless. Augustine walked out of the tree hole with the lamp and asked, What's the matter? Well, our companions are injured. Can they rest here? We'll compensate them. Augustine quickly asked, How long will you stay here? We'll leave at dawn. Sorry for the trouble. Augustine hesitated. Then Vicky would be buried in the ground for the whole night. It would be too difficult. What if Vicky's soul flame was extinguished? Better not. These people were not as important as Vicky. Augustine shook his head. You'd better go. By the way, you destroyed my house. You have to compensate me. Seeing Augustine refuse, they were a little anxious. One of the girls, who had blonde hair and blue eyes like Augustine, walked up to him and said, We don't have to go in. We'll just stay at the door. We're injured and need to treat our companions. When Augustine saw the rose on her shoulder, he hesitated. Chapter 2658. Let them stay. Ning Shu's voice sounded in Augustine's mind. I'll stay in the pit. Augustine nodded and asked, Do you have anything to eat? The blonde girl took out some buckwheat bread and 2 fruits from her magic ring. Here you go. Thank you. Augustine hurriedly took it and started chewing. With their master's permission, the others quickly put down the wounded and used the potion over and over again. Some people also used holy light to heal the wounded. Light magic could heal wounds and detoxify. Generally speaking, People with light magic were members of the Church of Light and worshipped the goddess of light. This was a world where divine power and royal power competed with each other. Some people began to set up tents, obviously wanting to stay in the surrounding area. The blonde, blue-eyed girl looked at Augustine and asked, "Have you always lived here?" Augustine swallowed the bread and answered her. "Won't the magical beasts attack you if you live in the mountains?" There were all kinds of dangers in the forest. Was he really safe living here alone? "It's fine. I made a smell that the magical beasts hate, so they won't come near here," Augustine said. The girl's eyes swept over Augustine's face. She saw that he didn't want to lie and that this person's face was a bit familiar. "I'm a bit thirsty. Can I go in and drink some water?" the girl asked. Augustine exclaimed, "You have food and fruits in your ring, but you don't have water?" Water was very important. Ning Shu, who was lying on the ground, almost laughed himself to death. The girl was very calm. "I've finished drinking." "Then go in. There's a water tank inside." "There's water in the tank," Augustine said. The girl carried the oil lamp into the tree hole and raised it to look around. She stepped over the soil on Ning Shu's body and saw the staves and weapons piled in the corner for a while. The girl scooped water from the tank and drank a few mouthfuls before putting it down. Instead, she stared at the various materials for a while before stepping over the soil on Ning Shu's body. "You drank? Remember to bring water when you go out next time," Augustine said. The little girl nodded and took out a few purple coins from her spatial ring. "This is to compensate you." Purple gold coins were even more valuable than gold coins. 10,000 gold coins were only worth 1 purple gold coin. 5 purple gold coins was 50,000 gold coins, which was enough for a normal family to live for the rest of their lives. Augustine had made a fortune. In the future, he wouldn't have to be so poor when it came to buying materials. Augustine recognized purple coins. Before he faked his death and left the Rose family, he had been playing with purple coins. "Thank you." Augustine accepted the gift and wondered if he could buy a level 5 Windchaser's magical crystal to make it even more effective. Augustine had a good impression of this little girl from the Rose family. He asked, "Are you a magician?" "What kind of magician is he?" "Fire elemental." Augustine nodded. "The fire attribute is good, very good. As long as she wasn't of the undead attribute, it was fine. Such a little girl would definitely suffer a lot outside." "Are you an alchemist?" the little girl asked. Augustine scratched little curly hair. "That's right. Actually, I was just playing around. I don't have a master, so I was just messing around. I have a book on Master Alchemist Dennis's preliminary alchemy here. I'll give it to you." The little girl took out a book from her ring. "Thank you." Augustine accepted it happily. The little girl also smiled, which made the people around them jealous. A red-haired boy dressed as a knight said, "Vanessa, why are you giving him so many things?" Giving purple coins was one thing. They didn't care about these things at all. But giving purple coins and a letter, why was she so warm to a person and a man at that? Looking closely, this man was quite handsome. He had blonde hair and blue eyes. If he wore an expensive uniform, he would definitely be a rich young master. But this kind of person didn't even have a house and lived in a tree hole. He was so poor that he had to eat dirt. Why was Vanessa treating him like this and smiling at him? Could it be that Vanessa had taken a liking to this poor man? The little girl Vanessa stopped smiling. "I'm just sorry that we destroyed his home. That's all." The knight's expression was a little awkward. He said to Augustine, "You're an alchemist. I'm afraid you're a piece of trash who can't even melt metal. Can you understand the notes left behind by the master?" "Miles, you're being rude," Vanessa said with a frown. The knight Miles was even more upset. The more Vanessa sided with this poor man, the more upset he felt. "Vanessa, I will definitely become a dragon knight." "Didn't we come here to make you a dragon knight? Even your partner got hurt trying to catch the dragon. Why are you fussing over these details?" Impatience flashed across Vanessa's eyes. Because of the knight, no one could see it. Ning Shu wanted to roll his eyes. "So what if you ride a dragon? Sleep with a dragon if you can." As for Augustine, who was the trigger, He was already flipping through a book with the beast oil lamp in his hand. He turned a blind eye to the two's argument and completely ignored it. Ning Shu was a little uncomfortable lying on the ground. He wanted to turn around, but he was covered in dirt and couldn't move. She was now trapped in a sealed space and couldn't get out. How could she get out? She had to break the space. The blue soul fire in Ning Shu's eyes danced. How could she get out of here? She didn't have to dig up the dirt or use external forces to break the space. How could she get out of here? Because she had nothing to do and didn't need to sleep to cultivate, Ning Shu was thinking about the space. Disappear from here and appear somewhere else. Set a point here, set a point somewhere else, and train the 2 points into a line. Ning Shu set a destination in her heart. She probably had to find a space node in the process. She was like little Kelsey and Qing Yu trying to break through the plane. The plane could also be seen as a space. Qing Yu realized the space before her. She was ashamed. Although there were many people, it was quiet outside the tree hole. Occasionally, someone would whisper in a low voice. The little girl Vanessa stared at Augustine. The knight stared at Vanessa and Augustine with red eyes. He held a spear in his hand and stabbed it into the ground. Vanessa moved to Augustine's side and asked, "Can you understand?" "It's okay. I can understand some things. I understand some things that I didn't understand. But there are clearly better ways. Why did they make it so complicated?" Augustine scratched his head. Why did they have to take 5 steps to do something that could be done in 2 steps? Wasn't it tiring? The knight sneered. Pretentious. Chapter 2659. Master Dennis was a very powerful alchemist. How could he criticize a master? Vanessa smiled and said, "If the master hears you say that, he'll be very happy. He's a very gentle person." Augustine was a little tempted. It would be great to meet the master, but with his identity, he decided against it. He could leave alone, but he couldn't leave Vicky behind. So be it. Every time he went to the town to sell weapons, the boss would say that his weapons were just average, but it was good enough to earn money to support himself. Knight Miles thought that Vanessa must have taken a liking to this poor guy. An unknown light flashed across Miles' eyes. He stared at Augustine. What was he that could make Miss Vanessa of the Rose family look down at him? He was dressed in rags. Ning Shu was thinking about how to escape the cage while using a part of his mind to observe the situation outside. Unknowingly, Augustine had already gained a fake love rival. This knight obviously liked the little girl from the Rose family. The little girl must have guessed it, so she gave him money and information. Augustine was probably sighing in his heart. The people of the Rose family were kind-hearted. Ning Shu felt that his brain was a little numb after he became a skeleton. She could have used the law of water to become invisible, but she dug soil to bury herself. It was Augustine who kept reminding her to dig into the ground and bury her, blah 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 blah. Then when she wanted to hide, she would subconsciously dig a hole to bury herself. Indeed, being with stupid people would make you stupid too. The night passed in the thick smell of jealousy. Ning Shu still hadn't escaped underground. Vanessa took out some food from her ring. "We're leaving. What about this house?" "Don't worry. I'll find another suitable place." "Are you still looking for the giant dragon?" "Better not. The giant dragon is not easy to deal with." Augustine didn't know what relationship this little girl had with him. But she was still a member of the Rose family. It was so pitiful to die here. The giant dragon escaped. "We're going back." Vanessa looked at him. "I'm leaving." Be careful," Augustine said. He thought for a while and found a magic staff from the pile of weapons. The magic staff was very simple. Usually, a magician's magic staff would be embedded with colorful gems to make it look dazzling. It was very stylish. Augustine couldn't even feed himself, so what kind of gem was he going to embed? Therefore, this staff looked very shabby. "Take this, it can protect you," Augustine said. All right." Vanessa took the magic staff and looked at him deeply before turning to leave. Miles said, "This thing is too ugly and shabby. Throw it away." "How can you just throw away a gift from someone else?" Vanessa held the magic staff and didn't listen to him. Maya's expression was ugly. When Augustine saw that everyone had walked away, his chubby face was filled with melancholy. He then hurriedly returned to the tree hole to dig. But after digging for a while, there was no sign of Vicky. Where did Vicky go? An entire skeleton was gone. Augustine's heart skipped a beat. Where was Vicky? Why did he disappear? I've dug very deep. Where's Vicky? Could it be that Vicky had melted? Otherwise, why couldn't he see a single bone? Could it be that she had returned to the undead kingdom? Really? Augustine was already used to having Vicky by his side. He felt at ease with her around, and he didn't feel lonely at all. Now that Vicky was gone, Augustine wanted to cry. If he had known this would happen, he wouldn't have left these people behind. He would have let Vicky lie on the ground alone and go back to the kingdom of the dead angrily. I'm here, Ning Shu said to Augustine, standing at the entrance of the tree hole. Vicky, how did you get out? You didn't even move the soil. Did you dig a tunnel? I don't know either. Ning Shu was very excited because she could find the spatial nodes within a few meters, and then move from one node to another. But the distance was very short. It wasn't easy to get out of the tree hole. As for appearing thousands of miles away in a flash, Ning Shu couldn't do it. But she already had some idea. Everything was difficult at the beginning, but she could understand a little bit. Ever since the Nine Palace Mountain was opened, she had been trying to understand the spatial laws, but it was useless. She didn't expect to find a spatial node. There were many spatial nodes. She thought that her position was the center of a circle, and if she drew a circle in a certain range, there could be countless circles. The points on the circle's arc were all spatial nodes, and there could be countless nodes. She could teleport. Although she could only teleport 1 or 2 meters, it was already very good. In the future, she would slowly understand spatial compression, construct a short space, spatial collapse, and spatial storm. Would these be far away? She was one step closer to picking up trash. Ah, do you have spatial talent? Vicky, you're amazing. Augustine hugged Ning Shu and jumped up and down. Ning Shu felt that her head was about to be shaken off. Can you change your bad habit of hugging people and shaking for no reason? No, I don't, Ning Shu said directly. This thing is only a one-time use. It can't be used in the future. That's okay. Vicky, I have the ashes of a wind-chasing beast. Do you want to apply some on your bones? Augustine said. Ning Shu was horrified. Necromancers were all crazy. Rubbing the ashes of a magical beast on her body? Ning Shu. No need. You can keep it for yourself. Ning Shu refused straightforwardly. Vicky, aren't you lonely? Why don't I make a puppet? It's better for you to be in a puppet than in a bone. We can go out together, Augustine said. Ning Shu was about to say something, but she sensed that someone was coming. She immediately found a spatial node behind the tree hole and disappeared. Augustine scratched his head. Didn't she say she couldn't? Why did she do it again? Augustine looked at the person. It was a knight called Miles. You didn't take anything? No, I came back especially to find you. Miles' expression was a little sinister, making his handsome face look a little twisted. Augustine was confused. Why was he looking for him? They didn't know each other. But seeing the other party's expression, he took 2 steps back. What do you want? I don't have money. I don't have anything. Are you trying to rob me? You're dressed so well. You shouldn't be someone who lacks money. Augustine held the spear. You know yourself well. You know you're poor. But you actually made Vanessa look at you. Augustine raised the spear and stabbed at Augustine's neck. But there was a ding. He couldn't get close to his neck at all. It was as if there was a barrier blocking his attack. Miles channeled his combat power, trying to break the barrier. Who was this guy? Was this defense a magic scroll? You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.